A rainy afternoon in the Bronx, but we've got baseball on this Saturday afternoon. It's Fordham baseball, wrapping up a 3-game series against the Davidson Wildcats. The 15-16 Fordham Rams, the 13-16 Davidson Wildcats, separated by 1 game in the standings. That's thanks to a doubleheader sweep yesterday by Davidson. They played 27 runs across 2 games, take the first 2 games against the Fordham Rams. They leap up to the top of the A10 standing, so Fordham looking for a get-back today on a rainy day at Houlihan Park.
Absolutely, Lou. It's definitely not the ideal conditions whatsoever. Yesterday, the similar story here, and for Fordham, it was really the bullpen that couldn't get them through both of those games in the doubleheader, and that offense wasn't really awake as we've seen throughout this year, and Davidson coming in with one of the worst pitching staffs statistically in the A10 to start, but one of the better offenses in the Atlantic 10. One name to look out for today, Eli Putnam, 11 home runs to his name. That's second in the A10 to go along with 34 RBIs. But it's not just Putnam. This entire lineup, Lou, 1 through 9, 7 of them have an on-base percentage of over 40%. So the key here today for Chase Hannawalt and the Fordham pitching staff is to throw strikes, get the ball in play, make sure there's outs there. Don't let these guys get on base because they do it at an extremely high clip.
Well, the Fordham Rams came into the series feeling good. A series sweep over the A10 leading at the time Richmond Spiders. But now very quickly after a Friday doubleheader sweep, the modem of operation is just salvage this series, get a win. They've already lost. It's official, their first A10 series of the season. Thanks to the sweep on Friday, now just trying to take the final game of the series. It'll be Chase Hannawalt, the freshman, making the second start of the season, and he'll have to face an intimidating Davidson lineup. And, well, as you said, they can mash 51 home runs. That leads the A10. And it starts with the freshman Jamie Daly, left-handed bat center fielder, settles into the batter's box, takes fastball away, 1-0.
And with that fastball right there, let's talk a little bit about Chase Hannawalt. Fastball sitting at 89 to 91. He mixes in a curveball and a changeup as part of his 3-pitch repertoire.
Swing and a miss, outside fastball, 1-1.
Last time out, Hannawalt, 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks to 4 strikeouts in a win against George Washington, the first series win in the Atlantic 10 for Fordham.
Fastball fouled off by Jamie Daly. The Davidson lineup starts with Daly, Putnam, Cannon. 3 of their top bats. It's a Davidson lineup that has excellent bats up and down the lineup. 1-2. Off speed, couldn't have missed, strike 3. Hannawalt starts his day out with a swinging strikeout.
Hannawalt doing a nice job of mixing and matching in that first batter. Dominates with the fastball early on. Then changes the eye level with a nice changeup in that 1-1 count. Drops in a, looked like a slurve. It's listed as a curveball. A little bit of a slurve action there, though, on that breaking ball. Really effective first punch out for Hannawalt.
Here's the man you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Eli Putnam. Right-hand bat, skies one high into center field. Up into that gray sky. Saylor settles under it in center field for out number 2. And quickly 2 away here for the Fordham Rams, led by the freshman Chase Hannawalt on the mound.
Well, that's going to be the key, as we were talking about, Lou. Early on in this game, throw strikes, make the Wildcats put the ball in play, get some easy outs to start, and none of them are going to be easy outs 1 through 9. Very, very difficult lineup.
Defensive alignment for the Fordham Rams in the outfield left to right. That's Lapicus, Saylor, Canales. In the infield third to first, Bucciero, Brennan, Kirk, and Dieguez. Sider, Cannon, first pitch swinging, fouls it back. It's Tommy McAndrews behind the dish, and Chase Hannawalt looking for a quieter day on the mound than his counterparts on Friday. Davidson, 27 runs in the first 2 games of this series. 0-1. Cutting a miss, strike 2, and I'll tell you right from the jump, Hannawalt looks sharp, attacking the zone, that fastball getting swings and misses.
Really dominating the outer portion of the plate for any left-handed or right-handed hitter working east to west with that fastball, and the breaking ball / changeup has had some effectiveness to it.
Off the end of the bat, loop into center field. That'll drop down for a base hit. Rolls to Saylor in right center and lobs it in. It's a 2-out single for the sophomore Cider Cannon. That's the first base runner, first hit for the Davidson Wildcats.
Cider Cannon, .333 hitter in 22 games played, and he started all 22 of those games as well. One of those guys that I mentioned before, Lou, that gets on base over 40% of the time. For Cannon, it's 43.8% of the time, and he's 3 of 3 in stolen base attempts, so always a little bit of a threat to steal some bases.
Davidson lineup, you've seen Daly, Putnam, Cider, Cannon. Up steps the cleanup hitter Michael O'Shaughnessy. Behind him, it's Anthony Tereso, Jack Catrone, and rounded out with Shuhart Brooks and J.D. Woodall. Fouled off by Michael O'Shaughnessy to start this at-bat. O'Shaughnessy, the reigning A-10 Player of the Week. How about Davidson? Back-to-back honors with A-10 Player of the Week. Putnam the week before, and now last week it was O'Shaughnessy for his B weekend against Dayton.
A lot of offense for the Wildcats all season long.
Hard ground ball in the hole at second base is Taylor Kirk. He played in the outfield, fires into first for the third out. So a well-struck ball by O'Shaughnessy, but a scoreless first frame for the freshman Chase Hanawalt. We head to the home half of the first. It's the Fordham Rams coming to bat. Lou Orlando, Will Tallant, Fordham baseball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Michael Kay, WFUV class of 1982. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Home half the first, Fordham baseball taking on Davidson. And it's a Fordham lineup that will take on the senior left-hander Isaac Fix, and it has been a tough go for the southpaw. Make his 8th start of the season. It's a 9.82 ERA on the year, and his last 4 starts, he's been pretty roughed up, and the last one, perhaps his worst, only recorded 2 outs against Dayton and allowed 6 runs on 6 hits. So Isaac Fix looking for a big-time bounce back against this Fordham lineup.
And as we were talking about it before we hopped on the broadcast, Lou, in his last 4 starts, he's got over a 20 ERA, so definitely a pitcher that the Rams need to use that vibrant offense that they've had all year long. And as you were saying, Lou, a 9.82 ERA in 7 games started, 25 2/3 innings pitched. Fix has given up 28 earned runs, 33 of those just runs, 17 walks to 14 strikeouts. Another thing to keep an eye out if you're the Rams. Work those counts, get any kind of base runner that you can. And this is a must-win game, Lou. We didn't really talk about it yet in this broadcast, but for the Fordham Rams, you just lost your first A10 series, and that's the name of the game. You got to win series, especially in conference play. So salvage this one, especially with Davidson 1 game ahead of you for that first spot in the A10.
Well, the lineup that Isaac Fix will have to face, it starts with the freshman Taylor Kirk at second base. Kean Saylor hits second in center field. It's Bucciero in the 3-hole. Canales cleans up. Matanako, the DH, hits 5th. Matt Dieguez at first base hits 6th. And the lineup rounds out with the catcher Tommy McAndrews, the left fielder Reed Lapicus, and the shortstop Jack Brennan. Fix comes set at the belt. His first pitch. Taylor Kirk bunts down the first base line, speeding down the line, evades the tag from the first baseman. It's a bunt single for Taylor Kirk.
Yeah, it looked like that ball just slipped out of the first baseman's glove in Chris Shuhart. Rainy conditions today. You're going to probably see that a decent bit. Ball slipping and sliding all over the place, but a leadoff base runner for the Rams is exactly how you want to start this ball game off.
Center fielder Kean Saylor steps up to the box, leadoff base runner for the Fordham Rams, and a speedy one at that. The freshman Taylor Kirk will take his lead off of first base. Left on left matchup. Saylor thinks about the bunt, pulls it back. Strike on the outside corner.
Saylor, a veteran presence in this lineup now, being a senior. 3 straight 40-plus hit seasons, had a career high of 53 last year.
Pickoff at first base. Kirk is back safely. Advantage for Davidson with Isaac Fix on the mound. The left-hander, the more deceptive pickoff move. Taylor Kirk only a couple steps off the bag at first base. Slider bounced in the dirt outside. Count 1-1.
Saylor, this is the kind of guy that you want to get going. Battled a little bit of some injury problems earlier on in this season, now fully back in the starting lineup, but this is the kind of guy that you want in your 2-hole to get things going and get this offense in motion.
Another pickoff attempt. Taylor Kirk back safely once again.
Fix making it a little bit close, not necessarily on the pickoff attempt, but possibly a balk as well. You don't want to break that plane if you're a left-handed pitcher. That's what the umpires are looking for in the field.
O'Shaughnessy at third base, creeps in. Fix delivers off the end of the bat to shortstop. It's Catrone on the run. His throw not in time. Back-to-back infield singles for the Fordham Rams. It's Kean Saylor able to beat out the weak ground ball.
Saylor squibs that off the end of the bat, and the rain once again playing a factor on the turf. Slows that ball down, makes it a little bit harder for Catrone to charge that ball and get an out anywhere. You got speed up and down the base paths now with the heart of the order stepping in for the Rams.
Fordham's all-conference third baseman Daniel Bucciero to the plate. Settles into the right-hand batter's box against the lefty Isaac Fix. Runners on first and second, no outs here in the bottom of the first. Slider low, misses the zone, 1-0. On the defense for the Davidson Wildcats in the outfield, left to right, Woodall, Daly, Cannon. In the infield, third to first, O'Shaughnessy, Catrone, Putnam, and Schuhart. Behind the plate, Will Brooks, and Isaac Fix delivers his second pitch to Bucciero. It misses outside, 2-0.
And another speed threat up right now for the Rams, and Daniel Bucciero really showing off those wheels in his junior season. Third in the A-10 in stolen bases with 21.
2-0. Misses low. Count 3-0 to the dangerous Bucciero. Well, he's always been such a dangerous hitter at the plate. I think underrated is his athleticism.
No, absolutely. He came in as a third baseman, but there just wasn't enough room, so they stuck him in the left field when he was a freshman.
Fastball misses way outside. It's a 4-pitch walk to Bucciero, and just like that, Isaac Fix has loaded the bases. There's no one out in the bottom of the first, and the red-hot Andrew Canales to the plate. Fordham looking to take an early lead.
Canales, definitely the best overall hitter so far this season for the Rams, hitting .365 in 31 games played, 30 of those in which he's started. 4 home runs, also a team lead, with 28 RBIs in a .513 slugging percentage.
Fix starts him out with the slider. Outside corner for a strike.
And if you're Fix, you got to do whatever you can to get a strike. I don't mind the first pitch breaking ball right there, especially if you have the feel for it and the confidence. Get a strike over, fool that cleanup hitter in Andrew Canales.
Especially after not throwing a single strike to Bucciero. Fastball misses up in the zone. Count 1-1. So it's Kirk on third, Saylor on second, Bucciero on first. Great speed at third and second. And you're just talking about Bucciero. Good athleticism, get around the bases at first base.
You find a gapper here if you're Canales. That could be a 3 RBI situation.
1-1, slider, slipped out of the hands, miss high. 2-1. Canales, he's been the best Fordham hitter so far in this series against Davidson, 5 for 8, with a pair of RBIs across the first 2 games. Right-hand batter settles in against the southpaw. 2-1. Ground ball foul, third base side.
This is a big spot for Isaac Fix right now. You want to try to get a strike over. You're looking for a strikeout. You trade a run for a double play here, though. The conditions on the field going to make it a little bit tricky to get that done.
Rain has halted for the moment. Overcast skies here in the Bronx. 2-2. Fouled off. Fix went at him with the fastball.
And this is, once again, a tough situation here for Fix. Obviously, low to the bases with nobody out, but you have a veteran presence in Andrew Canellis who's going to make you fight. Fighting off that fastball, waiting for his pitch. Just trying to look to put something in play right here, preferably to the right side. There's a sizable gap in between first and second base.
2-2. Cut and miss, strike 3. That's a big first out for Isaac Fix and the Davidson Wildcats. Canales goes down swinging.
That's really good pitch sequencing right there to finish off that count for Isaac Fix. Goes with the changeup on that strike 3 right there. Had Canales out in front just a little bit, but really nice job selecting the changeup there.
Still a dangerous situation for Isaac Fix, but now you get a double play. You can get out of this inning unharmed. It's the designated hitter, Madanako. Another righty up to the plate. Fastball at the knees, doesn't get the call. Ball 1.
Madanako, an impressive sophomore campaign, building off of what was a very solid freshman year as well. 275 he was hitting to conclude his freshman year. This year up over 280.
Hard ground ball, foul on the third base side. Ako, Will, as you mentioned, has really stepped in to a larger role and had more success at the plate here in this sophomore year. That's been a big part of this Fordham offense flourishing here in the first half of the season. 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Got him to chase one low in the zone.
And Ako boasting a 6-game hitting streak coming into the day, and that includes a 3-hit performance in one of those games against Richmond in which Fordham swept the Spiders for the first time since 2009.
Fix comes set at the belt. Goes back down, doesn't get the call, doesn't get the chase either. 2-2 count, bases loaded. 1 out, bottom of the first. Fordham Rams, Davidson Wildcats, game 3 of a 3-game set. Fix slider breaks in and skips into the dirt. Full count worked by the sophomore Madanako and nowhere to put him.
Another really great at-bat. This time by Madanako, making Fix throw a lot of pitches, maybe some that he doesn't want to throw. It looked like a waist slider right now, and now we're at a full count.
Full count. Fastball, cut and miss, strike 3. Back-to-back swinging strikeouts by Isaac Fix. He's now 1 out away from getting out of this bases-loaded jam.
Once again, really, really good pitch sequencing right there, Lou. Couldn't really find it with the breaking stuff. Goes with the old reliable in the fastball, up and away. Ako couldn't do much with it. It was one of those borderline calls. Could have gone either way, ball or strike. And if you're Madanako, you got to protect. Fix wins the first battle, though.
Right-handed Matt Dieguez steps up, takes a cut and a miss behind 0-1. Dieguez, another sophomore in this Fordham lineup that's really built off of a promising freshman season, has become part of a very dangerous heart of the order for the Fordham Rams.
Yeah, he was also a monster in that Richmond series as well. 4 hits, 5 RBIs, 2 home runs.
Got a piece of the fastball and tipped it back to the backstop. Dieguez behind 0-2. And Isaac Fix just 1 strike away from stranding the bases loaded. Fix will deal. Misses low. Fix put the first 3 runners aboard, single to Kirk, single to Saylor, walked Bucciero. Has come back and struck out Canales and Ako. Matt Dieguez up with 2 outs and a 1-2 count. High fly ball, left field. Calling him off, the left fielder, Woodall makes the catch. And Fordham leaves the bases loaded with no outs. Isaac Fix able to get out of a jam, and we're scoreless through 1. Fordham Rams, Davidson Wildcats head to the 2nd inning here in the Bronx.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rucco, WFUV class of 2008. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Hey guys, Grace McCarran here with Jack Warner.
And we're two of your hosts for Nosebleeds, WFUV's one and only baseball podcast.
We'll keep you in the loop on all tri-state news with the Yankees and Mets,
as well as the biggest headlines from around the MLB.
Catch weekly episodes of Nosebleeds on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Take a trip around the bases with Nosebleeds on WFUV Sports.
Second inning of play here from the Bronx, Chase Hannawall. A successful 10-pitch first inning, back out for the second. He'll face 5, 6, 7 in the Davidson lineup. It starts with the DH, Anthony Terezzo. First pitch swinging, foul ball. Deep down the left field line. Well, the Fordham Rams, in the home half of the first, load the bases against Isaac Fix. And then go strikeout, pop fly to left field, and they don't get a run in the inning. That is a major missed opportunity by this offense.
It's definitely a disheartening start if you're the Rams. You wanted to try to at least get one across there.
Breaking ball gets away from Hannawalt, and he hits Terezzo on the shoulder, leadoff base runner, aboard for the Davidson Wildcats.
And that was kind of a theme yesterday, too. A lot of hit by pitches, a lot of free bases on just one pitch and not four from the Rams, specifically out of their bullpen, and allow Davidson to capitalize mightily.
I mean, take a listen at these numbers across two games. Both games of the doubleheader on Friday. Davidson, 5 home runs, 12 walks, reached base 11 times via hit by pitch. Fastball comes inside and does not get the call. This is the shortstop, Jack Catrone. Those are bad numbers by the Fordham pitching staff. I think you can live with the home runs against this Davidson team that hits plenty of them. The walks and the hit by pitches, that's a different story.
Those are free bases, man. Those are complete free bases all throughout the pitching staff and the lineup here for Davidson. And the 5 home runs is the capitalization of it. That's what you got to do. You let guys on base like that, you're going to get burned.
2-0 count to Catrone. Pops up the fastball behind the plate. McAndrews drifting over. Called off by Bucciero, who can't make the play as it drops safely over his head.
That's a tough one right there, Lou. That's a ball that definitely should have been caught. There was definitely communication as well. We heard it through the crowd mic. Straight up in the air, gray skies. It was Bucciero's ball, I would say. He's coming in on it.
Bucciero ranging in as opposed to McAndrews ripping off the mask and having to scramble for it. I like that you mentioned the skies. We've got a really gray, overcast sky that's very easy to lose a white baseball in. 2-1 count, fouled right back. 2-2.
One of those tougher plays, too, especially if you're a catcher. That ball goes straight up in the air. It starts tailing more towards the infield, typically every single time. Never an easy play for any backstop.
2-2 fastball misses up, and Jack Catrone has worked the count full. Leadoff runner Anthony Terezzo at first base after being hit by a slider. 3-2 pitch. Hard line drive, but well foul.
Jack Catrone, 301 hitter, 28 games started this year, 6 home runs and 24 RBIs. Doesn't lead the team, but he's second on this Davidson roster in walks with 14. In one of those situations right now where he could share a tie.
Full count pitch. just misses. Back-to-back runners aboard for the Wildcats. A hit by pitch, now the walk to Catrone. And it'll be Davidson that's threatening here in the top of the second.
An early start, runners on first and second. Now for the Wildcats, and stepping in will be the first baseman, Chris Schuhart. 275 hitter, 25 games played, 23 of those contests in which he's started.
Redshirt senior. Second year at Davidson, spent the first 2 years at the College of San Mateo, a D3 program. Terezzo at second, Catrone at first. Hanawalt from the stretch. Fastball up and away. For Schuhart, this is really his first full season at Davidson. Had an injury last year that held him out until late April. But I think notably came back in late April, made his first start on April 27th, and started 9 games in the outfield. It's clearly someone they're high on moving forward. Fastball away, 2-0.
Well, absolutely. He may not have the most glamorous stats of the 1 through 9 here, but still a very effective ball player. One of those guys gets on base a lot. Not one of them that gets on base over 40% of the time, but 37.9% is still nothing to sneeze at.
2-0 from Hanawalt. Fastball up and away. And a 3-0 count to Schuhart. So after Isaac Fix loaded the bases in the bottom of the first, Chase Hanawalt in danger of doing the same in the top of the second.
And Tommy McAndrews is going to go out and talk with his starter right now, and it looks like the rest of the infield will. And Elliot Glynn, pitching coach for the Fordham Rams, will also have a little chat with his starting pitcher today. Calm those nerves, missing up in the zone a little bit, and you tend to see that with the kind of conditions that we have. Ball's going to be a little slicker and probably a little bit heavier than you'd like it to be. You got to find a way to finish those pitches a little bit more than you're more accustomed to doing.
Pitching was the big issue for Fordham in the first 2 games, perhaps in an uncharacteristically uneven start for Aiden Dowd. Still pitched pretty well in game 1, had a chance to come away with the win. Loss ends up going to Robbie Stewart in relief, and then it was a tough day for Mike Rabeda in game 2. Chase Hanawalt looking to lock things down on the mound. 3-0 count to Schuhart. Runners on first and second, no outs. Outside fastball gets the call, perhaps a generous one by home plate umpire Thurman Berry.
McAndrews pretty aggressive on bringing that one back in the zone. Hanawalt will take it, get his first strike over in this at-bat.
Fastball gets a swing and a miss. Hanawalt has battled back into a 3-2 count.
And if you're Hanawalt, you might as well just stick with what's working right now. 2 fastballs in a row, one looking, one swinging. Why not go back to that?
Hanawalt comes set at the chest. Lifts the leg and deals. Fastball foul back.
Now, Hanawalt Lou is missing up top, but he's hitting east to west on this strike zone right now. Maybe try to bang one inside, get a ground ball out there. Maybe to Brennan or to Kirk. Force that double play. 1 pitch, you could get 2 outs. You could save a whole inning for yourself.
Fordham infield playing back. 3-2 pitch. Hard ground ball gets under the glove of Bucciero at third base. And down the line. Terezzo rounds third. He'll score easily. Catrone into third. It's an RBI double for Chris Schuhart. And Davidson ahead 1-0 here in the top of the second.
Well, Hanawalt did exactly that. He went back to the fastball, went in on the hands. But Schuhart, he turns on it nicely. A loud line drive, a skipper at that, just under the glove of Bucciero, slightly out of his reach. Stays down a little bit longer. We could be having a different conversation, but just goes under the glove, and it's an RBI double. Now runners on second and third for the Wildcats.
Davidson ahead 1-0 top of the second. And very much threatening here. No outs in the inning. Runners on second and third. The catcher, Will Brooks, up at the plate. Fastball misses up and in.
Brooks at 147 hitter so far this season. 16 games played. 13 of those he's started in just 34 at-bats. He's got 6 runs and 5 hits. 6 RBIs to his name.
1-0 pitch off speed, misses away.
Bucciero and Dieguez corners in to prevent that run over at third base. Be a ground ball check 'em situation. Strand that runner at third.
Hanawal goes up and in with the fastball, misses the zone once again. 3-0 count to the freshman catcher. It's Brooks getting the start today and hitting 8th. Noah Joris, Davidson's starting catcher, hit in the face as he squared around to bunt in game 1. Stayed in the game but was later hospitalized. Fastball strike, 3-1 count. So Brooks makes his 14th start of the season, hitting 147 in 34 at-bats. (3-1) soft grounder. Brennan charges that short. Throw on the run in time for out number 1, and the runners stay put at second and third.
Yeah, that's a nice play right there by Jack Brennan. Charging, coming in hard on that ground ball. Holds Controne 2, staying put at third base. It was an in-betweener, and if you're Controne, that's the smart play. You don't want to force anything right there. A nice play off the back leg for Jack Brennan. Get the first out, and it looks like the infield will come in now and really try to hold this run.
So all 4 infielders on the lip of what would be the grass on a diamond. Fordham has an all-turf field. 9-hole hitter J.D. Woodall, right-handed, steps in. First pitch strike with the fastball.
And Woodall, 158 hitter so far this season, starting in left field, is the senior. One of those guys, though, gets on base a lot. 46.7% of the time. He's also 2 of 2 on stolen base attempts.
Line drive over Brennan's head at shortstop. And that'll bring in 2. Catrone scores, Schuhart scores. It's a 2 RBI single for J.D. Woodall. The bottom of the Davidson lineup coming through. A 3-0 lead in the top of the second.
Life at the bottom of the order. You got to love it if you're the Davidson Wildcats. A nice piece of hitting there by Woodall. Turns on that inside fastball, loops it into center field, and hit it just softly enough to get both runners to score. It was a solid relay into the infield for Fordham, but it didn't quite cut it. And now Fordham staring at a 3-0 deficit early on.
And Will, I was going to say, I was surprised that Catrone didn't come home on that soft ground ball by Will Brooks. Proved me wrong there. Had faith in the bottom of the order. J.D. Woodall comes through with a line drive into the outfield. And just like that, Davidson ahead 3-0. Lineup flips over. The freshman Jamie Daly sets in. Left-handed batter. Face the right-handed Hanawalt. After a brilliant first inning, 10 pitches for Hanawalt. A scoreless first. It's been 3 runs already by the Davidson Wildcats, and still just 1 out in the inning.
Daly still a threat. He struck out in his first at-bat, but now with the lineup turning over, this is the opportunity that the Wildcats want. Get your first 5 guys really putting a lot of damage together to start this season.
1-1 count to the leadoff man, Jamie Daly. Fastball away, 2-1 count.
Hanawalt still missing upstairs, Lou, with that fastball. Hasn't really found that command with the slick, slippery substance that the ball has in water today. And I'll tell you what, the extra weight that the water provides on that ball definitely doesn't help out.
Misses up and away again with that fastball, almost the same exact spot. He misses again. A 3-1 count to Daly.
It's pretty clear that he's trying to work the outer half of the plate right now. And pretty much all game long, he's gotten a lot of swings and misses and looking strikes on that outer half, but kind of losing that command in this second inning.
And it's a 5-pitch walk to Jamie Daly. 3 straight fastballs up and away. Davidson, a pair of runners on, still just 1 out in the inning. And we're already in that part of the lineup that you really can't mess around with. I mean, you look at the first 4 batters, Daly, Putnam, Cannon and O'Shaughnessy. Those are the top 4 batters in this Davidson lineup, and they're 4 batters you cannot mess around with.
All of them are slugging over 600 to start this season, and Putnam, the only one over 700. This is the tallest task so far for the freshman Hannawalt, and it's definitely not easy whatsoever. You got 2 runners on now, first and second. Both can move around those bases a little bit.
And a lineup that has a lot of really strong hitters, none better than Eli Putnam. Comes into today hitting .372, a 1.145 OPS. Pair of runners on, 1 out. First pitch swing, ground ball through the hole at short. Waving around Woodall, who will score. An RBI single for Eli Putnam. Davidson ahead 4-0 as the inning continues.
Yeah, a little bit of an in-betweener between Brennan and Bucciero, but that was truly nobody's ball. Bucciero thought about it for a second, then retreated over to third base, but it was well out of the reach of shortstop Jack Brennan. A nice single there for Eli Putnam. Puts Davidson up 4-0, and easily scoring around second base was Woodall.
Fordham never had a chance there on what was not exactly a hard-struck ground ball. Just found the hole. First pitch misses up. The 3-hole hitter, Cider Cannon. Sophomore, member of the A-10 All-Rookie team last season. Singled in his first at-bat back in the top of the first. Chance to extend this Davidson lead.
Fordham's got some action going on in the bullpen right now. Pitchers have sweatshirts on as they should. It's a little bit of a chillier day in this early first week of April, but we can get that name momentarily. It looks like a left-handed pitcher.
That's the left-hander Bo Elson warming for the Fordham Rams. Runners on first and second. The 3-hole hitter Cider Cannon up at the dish. Davidson already a 4-0 lead here in the second inning. Hannawalt fires in a strike, 2-1 count.
Six of 7 batters have reached base so far in this inning for the Wildcats, Lou.
Wave and a miss at the off speed. Count 2-2. Hannawalt deals. Fastball misses low. Count full. To the right fielder, Cider Cannon.
And that's a tough call. It definitely looked like a ball, but if you're Hannawalt, you want to try to get that call. Did not go his way, and now he faces yet another full count as he creeps through the heart of this Wildcats order.
Full count, runners won't go, only 1 out in the inning. Well-struck ball, deep left center field. Sailor racing back, leaps up, makes the catch at the wall. Might have saved a home run. Daly's going to try and score from second to throw in. They got him. Double play. What a great relay by the Fordham Rams to save a run. And Davidson going to take a look at this one.
Yeah, it looks like Davidson does want a challenge here. What a play from Kean Sailor out in center field, showing off the athleticism as he leaps high to rob extra bases for Cider Cannon. I don't really mind the send there, though, from the third base coach for Davidson. Yeah, they definitely want to take a look at this one. But it looks like Kevin Layton is getting into a heated discussion now with one of the field umpires.
That looks like that's going to be the first base umpire, Stephen McMullen, that Kevin Layton is really giving it to. And we'll see if the replay works in the favor of the Fordham Rams. Fordham staying out there defensively. Cider Cannon hit that ball about as well as you can. Hit it into really the power alley in Houlihan Park, which is left center field. Sailor, great speed in center field, raced back, leapt up, made the catch, and then threw it in. It was a fantastic relay by Brennan to throw that ball home.
Yeah, once again, though, a very solid send there. I was a fan of that. You don't know what you're going to get. Could have had a wild relay with the slippery conditions out here in terms of footing and just getting the ball in. So it made sense to try to tack on to that lead as much as you could. We'll see what the call is here. Fordham defense staying out on the field, and home plate umpire Thurman Berry just threw Chase Hanwald a new ball. And Coach Kevin Layton for the Fordham Rams having yet another discussion with one of the field umpires right now.
Thinking back on the play, Brennan's throw one hops in to McAndrews, and it was in the left-hand batter's box. Obviously, Daly rushing in down the third base line, so McAndrews had to turn and apply the tag. Throw definitely beat Daly, and all things considered, I thought McAndrews was able to slap the tag on, but Daly, one of the fastest base runners in the A-10, certainly made it close.
And he also had a tremendous slide there, too. You got to give credit where credit is due. Daly sliding as far right as he can go to avoid any kind of tag from McAndrews. I think it was a little bit harder for me personally to judge from my vantage point right now if McAndrews got him. But as you said, Lou, the throw most certainly beat him by a good 5 to 6 feet. We'll see what the call is right now. There's still some kind of conference.
Umpires are still on the field, so it's not like they've even run back to take a look at the footage. And now they head off, so there's a lot to unpack, and not sure what all the delay was for.
I'm not too sure what Kevin Layton was arguing. It was a heated conversation, too. I'm really not too sure as to what that was about. But nevertheless, it'll either be 4-0 Davidson as Fordham comes to bat in the second inning, or it'll be 5-0 Davidson.
That's a big difference.
It is a big difference, especially in this second inning right now. And straining the bases loaded with nobody out in the first inning, you don't quite know what that's going to do to a team's confidence, especially with how dominant Fix was to get the 3 outs that he did.
Yes. But, I mean, you look at this inning and the way it starts, and once again, it's Fordham granting Davidson base runners. And that's an issue. That's something you just can't do against this Davidson offense because there's so much that they do well that they're going to beat you even when you do have your I's dotted and your T's crossed. They're just a great lineup up and down. You can't hit batters, and you can't have non-competitive walks. And Hanawalt just lost the strike zone here in the second inning. This inning starts with hit-by-pitch walk, and then Schuhart gets the RBI double, and things spiral from there. But, again, that was the issue in the Friday doubleheader. The 12 walks, the 11 hit batters, that was really Fordham's undoing in both of those games, was that they couldn't command the zone, and they had too many freebies against this Davidson offense.
Well, and you speak on the lack of command there, Lou. 3 full counts from Chase Hanawalt in this half inning, and 5 3-ball counts. Just not going to get the job done whatsoever. And allowing free base runners has been the problem this year, even though Fordham's record doesn't necessarily reflect that. But it's something that we've also noticed over our entire time here, the last 4 years or so. A lot of free bases, and these teams will capitalize on that. It wasn't overtly excessive in terms of free bases in this inning, but they do pile up. You can't start the second inning, as you said, Lou, with a hit by pitch followed by a walk, because this kind of offense that the Wildcats put out there will capitalize. And none of these bases other than Daly have been walks, but double, single, and then a loud F8 that could turn into a sacrifice fly and an RBI. They find ways to get the job done. You put the ball in play, things will happen, whether they're good or bad, and in this instance, it's been rather good for the Wildcats.
And how about the dichotomy? 2 offenses these are, let's be frank, 2 teams that if they're going to win, it's usually got to be with the offense. Now, Fordham's gotten some excellent outings from their pitching staff, namely from Aiden Dowd. But for the most part, when they're winning games, when you look at that Richmond series and that 3-game sweep against, at the time, the A-10's best team, it was Fordham getting it done with the bats. They had a game where they hit 7 home runs. So it's the offense that's putting up double-digit runs, 15, 20 runs. Fordham gets the bases loaded, no outs in the first inning. They don't get a single run. Davidson starts the second inning with a pair of runners on and no outs, and they're able to turn it into a 4-spot, potentially even more if this call gets overturned. I mean, that's one team that's able to take advantage of their opportunities early and another team that wasn't. And that could end up being the difference in this game. It's still early, top of the second, but that's why when you get those opportunities, bases loaded, no outs, you got to come through because you don't know how this game's going to unfold.
And you have to look at it this way, too. If you're Fordham, you gave yourself even more of an opportunity than what you're physically seeing. all 3 outs that the Rams recorded were all from right-handed hitters against a left-handed pitcher. This is a heavy right-handed lineup, as it should be, so you can have that matchup every single time, and it just didn't work out. Kean Saylor, the only left-handed batter stepping in for that first frame, he gets on base, but the 3 righties in Canellis, Acco, and Dieguez just can't get the job done. So you want to try to win those matchups the best that you can, especially if you set yourself up for that kind of success early on when the lineup card was written.
Replay review here at Houlihan Park. Deep fly ball to left center field looked like Kean Saylor robbed Cider Cannon of a home run. The speedy Jamie Daly at second base tagged and trying to take 2 bases and come all the way around to score. Strong relay in by the Rams made it close at the plate. Call on the field was out. Davidson calling for a challenge to the umpires. Taking a look at this one, and it seems finally that our umpires will come back out at Houlihan Park. One of the quirks is that to replay something, you got to basically leave the entire diamond and go behind the ballpark.
Just to get the call and all the banter beforehand, too, and then they decided to walk over, but we'll see what they got for us as they return back to the field.
And the call stands out at the plate. It's a double play that will end the inning, and we can officially say, what a double play to evade further damage by the Fordham Rams. Kean Saylor makes the phenomenal play at center field, and the Rams get the out at the plate.
Yeah, excellent relay, doing everything that you can, and once again, Kean Saylor, being the athlete that he is, robbing extra bases and getting the ball in as quickly as he can. A nice double play for the Rams, and definitely a breath of fresh air.
Well, the Fordham offense, they'll find themselves in a hole when they come up in the bottom of the second. It's a 4 spot by Davidson, ahead 4-0. As we head to the bottom of the second, Fordham baseball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Ben Oppenheimer reminding you to tune in to New York's longest running sports call-in show, One on One. Catch One on One live on the WFUV Sports YouTube channel every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then later on 90.7 FM from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We'll catch you next Saturday on One on One.
I'm Chaz McAdams.
And I'm Ben Oppenheimer.
And we are 2 of your hosts for On the Hill, the flagship podcast of Fordham Athletics.
We'll be talking about everything from football at Moglia Stadium
to hoops at the historic Rose Hill Gym.
Discussing the ins and outs of all Ram athletes, teams, and big games.
If you want to be part of the Ramily, then listen to On the Hill from WFUV Sports.
Fordham baseball here at Houlihan Park in the Bronx. Rainy, overcast day. 4 spot by the Davidson Wildcats in the top of the second. Won't be any more thanks to a phenomenal play by Kean Saylor and Jack Brennan. You can rule that double play F8 and then the throw in 8-6-2 in your scorebook. Second leads off with Tommy McAndrews. First pitch swinging, 1 hopper to shortstop. The throw unable to be scooped by Schuhart. Catrone on the 1 hopper. And McAndrews reaches base safely on an error.
Catrone, really nice job on the stab on the backhand there. Not an easy play whatsoever. Definitely got it off the end of the bat was McAndrews. And in that situation, I know you want to try to get it on the air with that throw. But given the conditions, you may want to go with a longer hop, make a 1-hopper a little bit easier to scoop over there if you're Schuhart. But nevertheless, Fordham once again with a leadoff base runner.
Graduate student Reed Lapikis, right-hander, shows bunt, pulls it back, it skips away from Will Brooks behind the dish. And McAndrews will advance to second base.
There's a slight break there for the Rams. Lapikis, he tries to stir up a little bit of some action and does it pretty successfully there. Pass ball, and McAndrews on second.
The old wild pitch going against Fix. Middle infield back, corners in. Fastball inside, gets the strike. The Fordham Rams loaded the bases with no outs in the bottom of the first. Unable to get any runs to show for it. Strikeout, pop fly. Induced by the left-hander Isaac Fix. 1-1. Goes back in. Doesn't get the call. They check to see if he went around, and he didn't. 2-1 count.
Lapikis, a 164 hitter in 17 games, started so far this season over the course of 55 at-bats.
Slider in the dirt. Check swing by Lapikis, and he holds up once again. The graduate student in a 3-1 count. O'Shaughnessy will play back at third. Line drive at shortstop. Catrone couldn't make the catch on the fly, and is thrown to first base. Definitely not in time. Gonna rule that an infield single by Reed Lapikis. Hit the ball well. Would have been a tough play by Catrone to catch that one on the fly. Slid to his left and unable to trap it.
Really nice job by Tommy McAndrews in terms of awareness on the base paths. Ball in the air on the line. He freezes and holds himself. Retreats a little bit towards second base. That liner was right at him, but it may have thrown Catrone off a little bit. Now the Rams with first and second.
Corners in. Brennan bunts right back to the pitcher. Fix gets the out at first base. Both runners advance.
Yeah, that's just textbook right there, Lou.
Isn't
you got to love that,
Isn't
man.
it?
You really do.
Isn't
A
it?
sacrifice bunt, and now the Rams have runners in scoring position, second and third with just one out. In the top of the lineup coming back up in Taylor Kirk, a prime opportunity to dig back into this game and hopefully cut this deficit in half.
Kirk, a bunt single in the bottom of the first. That's an at-bat here in the bottom of the second. Rams trailing 4-0. One out in the inning. Corners play in. Middle infield back. Big swing. Got a piece of it. All the way back to the backstop.
I love the aggression early on in the count. You get a pitch that you want to drive. If you're Taylor Kirk, you take a hack at it. Didn't quite go your way, but love the aggression. Doing anything that you can to try to get at least one of these runners to score.
Slider breaks in and catches the zone. That's a great pitch by Isaac Fix.
Pretty gross.
He's ahead in the count 0-2.
Pretty gross stuff.
How about Isaac Fix's ability to throw that slider for a strike, use it to attack in the zone?
Some serious break on that, too.
0-2. Kirk stays alive. Fouls it back. Fix went back to the fastball.
Reminds me of the mentality of, you think you can do this, I can do it a little bit better, though. Swing at that first pitch. You want to attack me with the fastball, I'm going to swing. But then, as a pitcher, I'm going to come back and bring my nastiest stuff to the table. And now I'm ahead 0-2.
To the 0-2 again. Off the end of the bat to left center field. Woodall makes the catch. Tagging is McAndrews. And he'll score without a throw. Sack fly for Taylor Kirk. Fordham Rams on the board. It's 4-1. Still a runner on second base with 2 outs. Kean Saylor coming up.
Hey, there's one of our good buddies right there, Lou. The sacrifice fly. You got to
Good
love
friend.
it.
I love when nobody comes around.
It's the old reliable, just like strike one with the four-seam fastball. One of our better buddies, the sacrifice fly. Now Fordham just down by 3 now. Finding ways to claw back into this game.
Left on left matchup between Fix and Saylor. Foul ball, left field side. Saylor an infield single back in the first. Putnam playing deep in the hole at second base. Shortstop Catrone. He's keeping Lapikis close to the bag. Fix comes back, fires in another strike. Saylor behind 0-2.
Fix doing a great job in 0-1 counts in this inning. That's all I can really say for him. First pitch is attacked by pretty much every single batter here, and he fires in a very, very nice strike each and every time.
Off the end of the bat, pop fly. Behind the third base bag, catch made by O'Shaughnessy, just in front of the left fielder. So Fordham gets one back. It's Taylor Kirk, the sac fly. Rams still trail 4-1, 2 innings deep here in the Bronx.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rucco, WFUV class of 2008. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One on One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
Pitching change here for the Fordham Rams. Chase Hanawalt's day is done. After 2 innings, Kevin Layton will turn to another freshman. It's the left-handed Bo Elson out of the pen.
Bo Elson, a 4.97 ERA. He's 3-1 on the year, making his 12th appearance of the season. 25 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 14 earned runs on 22 hits, 30 strikeouts to 14 walks, and batting average against at .232. Fresh look for the Rams, a lefty now out on the bump.
Bo Elson, excellent strikeout stuff, and I think he's really impressed when you look at the freshman arms that Fordham has brought in this year. Elson near the top of that crop, and especially lately, he's really brought it. So Fordham will turn to him to keep things close in a 4-1 ball game, top of the third.
A really nice asset to have on this ball club. And not only is he an effective left-handed pitcher, he's a freshman. When do you get those all the time? Not pretty commonly. An effective left-handed pitcher who can really rev it up there, high 80s on that fastball.
Off the top of the third inning is the third baseman, number 10, Michael O'Shaughnessy.
Elson going up against 4-5-6 in this Davidson lineup. Starts with the left-handed Michael O'Shaughnessy.
And for those keeping track at home, on 45 pitches, Chase Hanawalt goes 2 innings, gives up 4 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. He faced 12 batters.
First pitch low for Elson. O'Shaughnessy, one of 5 batters in this Davidson lineup, boasting an OPS over 1 dot. Pretty impressive stuff from this lineup. Fastball low and away, 2-0 count. Left on left matchup here as Elson deals from the windup. Fastball fouled off to the Fordham dugout.
O'Shaughnessy ground out to second base in his first attempt back in the first inning. Ahead in the count here, 2-1 against the freshman Elson.
Elson from the left side of the rubber, 2-1 pitch. Comes inside and hits O'Shaughnessy. Also clipped our home plate umpire, Thurman Berry. So a couple people feeling that one.
Some bumps and bruises. Maybe wake up tomorrow and be a little bit sore, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's a safe bet.
Good thing they're not playing tomorrow. How about that one?
Game 3 of a 3-game series. Everyone have a little bit of time to rest and recover. That'll be good news for our home plate umpire, who had to jog off a little bit there. I think that caught him in the leg.
Yeah. It did look like it
limping a
got
little
on the
bit.
leg. Walk it off trainer will come out, check on Thurman Berry. But once again, Lou, 3 bases. First batter takes 1 pitch, and the Wildcats have a leadoff base runner. Not an ideal position to be in if you're the Fordham Rams. And once again, in the second batter of an inning, looking for a ground ball to erase the free pass.
Taylor Kirk playing awfully close to the bag at second. I'll keep an eye on O'Shaughnessy, see if he'll go. Stays put. First pitch, found back.
And speaking of hit by pitches, Tereso hit by pitch in the second inning. He scored the first run of the ball game as well.
If you're keeping track at home, that is now 13 hit batters for the Fordham Rams in this series. We were very early in Game 3. Elson, fastball outside corner, strike. He has Tereso behind 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball up. Count 1-2.
Good spot to be in if you're Elson. Way ahead in the count still. It's a solid waste pitch. The only problem with it, though, is that this Wildcats lineup has seen a lot of upstairs fastballs and have been accustomed to taking them so far.
Jammed him to third. Bucciero gets one. Turn on to first, not in time. Tereso reaches via fielder's choice. Bucciero able to nab the lead runner.
Did jam him a little bit of a number over to third base. Bucciero doing a good job of corralling that to get the leadoff base runner. Tereso with some speed down that first baseline and now some speed on the base path, so not fully out of it yet. Elson wants to replicate that, though, get another ground ball.
Once again, as another right-hander, Catrone settles into the box. It's Kirk playing close to the bag at second. Hard ground ball, line drive, that'll get through into the outfield. 2 hops to the left fielder, Reed Lapikis. Pair runners on, 1 out.
Another single that looked like was off the end of the bat for Catrone. A sinking liner into left field. Good piece of hitting, though, and it moves a runner into scoring position now for the first time in this inning for Davidson. Stepping in will be the first baseman, Chris Schuhart.
Schuhart, RBI double. In the top of the second, that gave Davidson their first run of the game. Chance to extend this lead. Wildcats up 4-1 here in the top of the third. First pitch strike, Elson starts him off the fastball.
Schuhart, a double down the left field line back in that second inning. Plated 2 runners on that line drive that just got under the glove of Daniel Bucciero.
Slider breaks in, catches the zone. He's got Schuhart 0-2.
And that's a great 0-1 pitch right there, Lou. Changing the eye level a little bit. Comes in at 58 feet looking like a ball all the way through. And then in a split second, those next 2 feet, it's all the way for a strike.
The 0-2 skips in. Heavy righty lineup for Elson to face. Just 2 lefties in the Davidson order. Here's the 1-2. Fastball high. Elson from the stretch, the 2-2. Off speed, looped into right field, that drops in. Fielded by Canales in right field. Scoring is Tereso. Catrone slides into third. It's an RBI single for Chris Schuhart. Davidson ahead 5-1 here in the third.
Schuhart, nice job controlling that breaking ball on the outer half of the plate, taking it into right field, keeps his hands inside the ball, shifts his weight back just a little bit and holds on off the end of the bat. but still a solid piece of hitting as he floats one into right field and another RBI across for the Wildcats. It's now 5-1.
Runners on the corners, 1 out. The light-hitting catcher, Will Brooks, up at the plate. Brooks shows bunt, pulls back, fastball inside, 1-0. Fordham would love a double play here. Brooks' first at bat. A weak grounder to short probably wouldn't have been a good double play ball. But Ellison looking for another ground ball here. Kirk and Brennan in double play depth. Fastball strike.
And that weak grounder, Lou, that was a nice play back in the second inning by Jack Brennan. Off his back leg, fields it deep in the hole on his right side, prevents that run from scoring at that moment. Later did come in to score.
Brooks shows bunt. Down the first base line, Dieguez charges, the run will score. Flip to first. And they get out number 2. But a job well done by the freshman Will Brooks. Picture perfect bunt. 6-1 Davidson.
A little bit of small ball there, Lou, for sure. Did not expect it in that infield for the Fordham Rams. Corners were straight up. Dieguez not even with the base.
He's holding on, or Catron at first base. Or,
yeah.
Excuse me, Schuhart.
So no anticipation there. A great time to drop one down in a 1-1 count. Probably when you least expect it, and it was a beauty. Gets the run across. An excellent sacrifice.
Runner on second, 2 outs. First pitch swinging is Woodall. It's fielded by Brennan in the hole. Fires for out number 3. But Davidson plates 2 more. RBI single by Chris Schuhart. RBI sacrifice bunt by Will Brooks. 5-run lead for the Wildcats. Head to the home half of the third.
Hey guys, Grace McCarran here with Jack Warner.
And we're 2 of your hosts for Nosebleeds, WFUV's one and only baseball podcast.
We'll keep you in the loop on all tri-state news with the Yankees and Mets,
as well as the biggest headlines from around the MLB.
Catch weekly episodes of Nosebleeds on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Take a trip around the bases with Nosebleeds on WFUV Sports.
Davidson Wildcats adding to the lead. In the top of the third inning, 2 runs on 2 hits. They strand 1 in scoring position. A 6-1 lead for the Wildcats, who currently lead the Atlantic 10. 8-3 in conference. They lead the Atlantic 10 because of Friday. A doubleheader sweep over the Fordham Rams, who were in first place after a 3-game sweep of Richmond. Quickly supplanted by Davidson here in the Bronx, and Davidson in a strong position right now, still early, but looking to extend that lead over all the other A10 teams with a win today.
And that was Fordham's first series loss in conference play. Davidson dropping their first series against Dayton the weekend prior. And as we were talking about it earlier on in the broadcast, Lou, this is a must-win game if you're the Fordham Rams. At 7-4 in conference play, 1 game behind the 8-3 leading Davidson Wildcats. You got to try to find a way to get back in this game and win this ball game, even it up back at the top. I know it's still kind of early, but every series matters, and especially every game against the teams that are ahead of you.
Fordham third baseman Daniel Bucciero takes first pitch strike. For the Fordham Rams in the home half of the third, it's 3-4-5 due up. Bucciero, Canales, Acco.
And Isaac Fix doing an excellent job through 2 innings so far, and just 3 hits, 1 run. It wasn't even earned.
Fastball bounces short of home plate. Count 1-1. Davidson entered the season 5th in the preseason poll, had 1 first place vote. I think maybe some questions about the pitching staff, but clearly this is an offense that can win a lot of A10 games.
Well, and under head coach under their head coach, Rucker Taylor, in his 7th season. He came over in 2018. There's been nothing but success for the Davidson Wildcats. 4 30-plus win seasons in program history. Taylor has been the head coach for all 4 of those seasons, including a 40-win season back in 2022 where he was A-10 Coach of the Year.
Bucciero in a 3-1 count after that fastball misses in.
I guess to what my point was, though, Lou, is that the offense has been prolific in those very successful seasons under Rucker Taylor.
Soft ground ball to short, charged by Catrone, throw on the run, and beat Bucciero by a half step.
Catrone getting a lot of work in over there in the 6th spot, over in at shortstop. Nice play, moving to his right, fielding it on his right side as well. Had to make a pretty nifty throw with the speedy Bucciero hauling it down the line.
And Andrew Canales struck out in the 1st inning with the bases loaded and no outs. This time, no one aboard, 1 out here in the 3rd. Liner past the diving Catrone at shortstop. It trickles off his glove, so it stays here in the infield. But a well-struck ball by Canales, and a 1-out base runner for the Fordham Rams.
And once again, Jack Catrone getting his steps in today. This time, instead of charging in, having to move significantly to his right, but definitely out of his reach. Canales starting things off with 1 out for the Rams.
Madanako, 1 out in the inning. First pitch fastball just misses the zone.
That one had a little bit more movement on it than I think that we've seen so far today. Looked like a little bit of a 2-seamer, maybe a sinker. Just missed the outer part of the plate.
Foul ball right field side.
Definitely a good pitch to throw an 0-0 count and to have in your repertoire if you could throw it effectively as well. That's a great ground ball pitch. Changes the eye level ever so slightly, and slightly enough to cause some different kinds of contact.
Fouls it off again, the same spot. 2-strike count here from Madanako. One-two. The 3rd straight time, foul ball over the netting above the Fordham dugout. Just a little bit late on 3 straight fastballs on the outer half.
And I want to say he's a little bit late, too, because they're all borderline strikes right there. You don't quite know if they're a ball or a strike, and in a 2-strike count, you got to find a way to swing the bat.
His off attempt at first base, head first slide by Canales, back safely.
Once again, another great at-bat here from Madanako. He's seen it all throughout this season so far. Nothing but great discipline and making these pitchers throw more pitches than they need to.
1-2, off and running is Canales. The ball slips by Brooks behind the dish. And that'll be an easy stolen base for Andrew Canales, runner in scoring position for the Rams.
Canales, that was his 10th stolen base of the season in 13 attempts. And now a runner in scoring position, a prime RBI opportunity for Madanako.
2-2 count, the Rams in a 5-run hole. Still early, bottom of the 3rd. They're going to need to chip away at a Davidson pitching staff that ranks 2nd to last in ERA in the A-10. Slider breaks low and catches the zone at the knees. Strike 3 looking for Madanako. Delayed call by home plate umpire Thurman Berry. And Ako does not seem to love the call.
Yeah, it definitely was a borderline strike, and I think a very reasonable take from Madanako. He was fighting off, and it was a good sequence there from Isaac Fix. Goes inside with that breaking ball and gets Ako looking.
First pitch swinging Matt Dieguez. Runner on second base, 2 outs. For the second straight at bat, Dieguez comes up with a chance to get the Rams some runs in a 2-out situation. He popped up to shallow left field back in the first. Jammed, little blooper to center field, racing in and making the catch is Daly. The Rams get a 1-out base runner. Canales gets to second base. Fordham strands him there. It's Davidson up 6-1. We're through 3 here in the Bronx. 5-run lead for the Wildcats.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Three innings down here in the Bronx. The rain has held up for the most part here. It's a delayed 1:30 start. Rainy weekend in the Bronx. Part of the reason, the main reason there was a doubleheader on Friday. Davidson took the first 2 games, looking to sweep this series against the Fordham Rams. Top of the order for a third time around rather, is due up. Starts with the left-hand hitting Jamie Daly. Strikeout in the first, walk in the second. Left-on-left matchup. Off speed, misses away. Daly flashed bunt, then took it back.
Daly, that runner at second base in the controversial double play that ended the second inning for the Wildcats.
Daly drag bunt down the first base line, but rolls foul. And in what's been a remarkable season for the freshman, and again on a lineup that has plenty of talent up and down. Daly, who's now started 28 games, if you factor in today, a team-high 460 on-base percentage, leads the team in OPS, 1.149. That's as a freshman, man. He's been spectacular.
That's gaudy. A lot of extra base hits on his line. 9 doubles, 1 triple, and 8 home runs. That'll definitely jack the OPS up a little bit.
Outside fastball. Elson gets the call, a 1-2 count against Jamie Daly.
And on top of that OPS, too, Lou, 689 slug.
Fastball rises high and misses the zone. I mean, Jamie Daly has done it all in his first season at the D1 level. Very highly recruited prospect out of Georgia. 2-2 from Elson. Off speed, cutting a miss, strike 3. And that slider breaking away. Able to miss the bat of the excellent hitting Jamie Daly.
That's a great 2-strike pitch there, Lou, from Bo Elson. A lot of break on it, and it would have been a strike either way. It was a good cut by Daly. Just comes up short. Elson has that breaking pitch working when he needs it so far in his outing.
Putnam steps up. RBI single in the second. Infield shifted to the left. Outfield straight on. First pitch strike.
And there's that slider again. It was front door to Daly, back door, now to Putnam.
Taylor Kirk, the second baseman, now on the shortstop side of second base. Outside fastball gets the call. Putnam behind 0-2.
And Putnam in the Cape League via Joe Henry.
Our guy.
Our guy, for sure. Incredible summer season, hit over 290.
Had a couple battles against Daniel Bucciero.
Mm-hmm. Another Cape
Fordham
League
Rams.
participant last summer. Great summer league. Really good baseball.
Really good talent down there. Or up there, I should say. 1-2 count. Grounder fouled off the foot of Putnam.
Let's pull up that full slash line that Mr. Joseph sent to us. Putnam slash 296, 376 with a 530 slugging for Wareham in the Cape League last summer.
1-2 from Elson. Coming inside. Bit low. Count worked back to 2-2.
It was definitely pretty low, but that breaking ball is pretty wicked right now for Elson. It looks like he's got it going. The command is there for that pitch. Can pretty much do whatever he wants with it.
Especially against Putnam, you don't want to leave anything over the heart of the plate. Got to be careful with him. 2-2 delivery. Fouled off the foot once again. Perhaps a painful at bat for Eli Putnam. Looks to be okay. He's got the shin guard on the front foot.
He's seen a lot of breaking balls, too. That's all you can do with that pitch because it's just dropping off the table. Just got to spoil it off. I want to say that was the third consecutive breaking ball that he's seen, all in relatively the same spot.
Gets a fastball, hits it well, one hopper to left field. Line drive base hit for Putnam, his second of the day.
Yeah, Putnam 2 for 3, fly out in that first, but now back-to-back singles for the two-hitter in this Wildcats lineup, and that'll bring in Cider Ken in the right fielder who singled in the first and had a loud F8 8-6-2 double play in the second. Putting together some good ABs. He's the three-hole hitter for the Wildcats.
Cider Cannon. Right-handed batter settles in against the lefty Elson. First pitch blocked by McAndrews. It skirts away a few feet. But McAndrews stays in front of it and keeps Putnam at first base.
Yeah, really nice job there by McAndrews to keep it in front of him. Good stop. Definitely not the easiest thing to do in blocking a fastball, especially with the unpredictability with such slick conditions. Prevents any advancement, and that's exactly what the Rams don't need right now, another runner in scoring position.
Fastball away, 2-0 count to Cannon. I'll say this of his last at-bat. That ball shot off his bat like it was shot out of the cannon. Kean Saylor made a great play in left center field to rob him of a home run. It's a great last name.
It really is. It truly is. It's a very baseball-esque name.
2-0 pitches, skied high to shallow left field. Lapikis ranges in, makes the catch for out number 2.
They're one of those in-betweeners there, Lou. Definitely a routine out on a typical day. But once again, with those overcast skies, just in between Lapikis and Brennan, made a routine out a good out.
Michael O'Shaughnessy, third at-bat, third plate appearance of the day, settles in against the left-handed Elson. It's Putnam at first base, 2 outs in the inning. Davidson ahead 6-1. Gets a swing and a miss, took a little bit off. You see Elson sets up on the third base side of the rubber. I imagine that's got to make things even more difficult for any left-handed batter.
Absolutely, especially with how his breaking ball is working today. Starts off the at-bat with another breaking ball.
Speeds it up. Gets the strike on the outside corner. 0-2 count. Elson looking for a clean 4th inning here. Sets and deals the 0-2. Fastball high.
Elson also with a pretty drastic leg kick, too. Look, he really brings it all the way back and into his chest. Maybe trying to activate some more hip-to-shoulder separation with that leg kick.
And even from the set, he's got that offset stance.
Yeah, very open.
Slider misses high. Opens the right turn the same way that a left-handed batter or any batter opens stance with the front foot. That's how he sets up from the stretch, and then he really gets a lot into that kick.
I will say it could make his pickoff attempt specifically to first base a little bit more confusing if you're a base runner, so you don't quite know which direction he's going in.
The slider struck into the hole at second base. Diving stop by Kirk, fumbling with it. And he can't even attempt to throw to the first base bag.
And that one's probably going to be a base hit there. That's a tough play there for Taylor. Kirk did a nice job of trying to stop it, but once again, slick turf is going to make it very hard to corral such a play such as that one. But doing a nice job of preventing any advancement of first to third and keeping that base runner in Eli Putnam at second base.
It is ruled a single, so 2 runners on, 2 away. A right-handed Anthony Terezzo steps up. Swing, first pitch, high fly ball, shallow left center. Lapikis makes the catch as he takes a single step back. And Elson able to navigate through the 4th inning scoreless. A pair hits by Davidson, but no runs to show for it. 6-1. Bottom of the 4th incoming.
Hi, this is Spiro Ditas, WFUV class of 2001. WFUV is the epicenter of Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, men's and women's basketball, and of course, our iconic Saturday show, One on One. So keep your radios locked in right here, 90.7 FM, for all things WFUV sports.
Back.
Fordham baseball on WFUV Sports. Lou Orlando, Will Tallant. Bottom of the 4th we come, 7-8-9 in the Fordham order due up, a 6-1 lead for the Davidson Wildcats. And, well, certainly the offense has done their part, but not to go unnoticed should be how Isaac Fix has fared so far in this game through 3 innings, just 1 run and 4 hits allowed, and still plenty of work to do here for the Davidson Wildcats, but so far this has been a needed bounce back by a southpaw that was really struggling in the Davidson rotation.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Lou.
He sorry
really,
about that.
No,
I apologize.
No need to apologize. You know what that means? We're just on the same wavelength, and you can't get much better than that. I love it. This is great. And Isaac Fix has been even greater. Excellent start for him so far through 3 innings. He desperately needed this to go his way, and still a lot of ball game left here, but doing a really nice job of mixing and matching those off-speed pitches, flirting with the changeup and his breaking ball a lot more, since he just has the control of it too. But doing a very nice job, and he doesn't have any sort of matchup unless it's against Keen Sailor.
McAndrews' first pitch swing, high fly ball in the infield. Schuhart ranging to his left as that ball drifted on him, and able to make the catch in fair territory for out number 1.
I can't really tell if that was the wind at all. I think maybe Schuhart just misjudged it with the sky.
That sky still very gray.
It's really tough, man, especially when when you're on the field in these kind of conditions and the ball gets that high up in the air, it gets a lot blurrier than you'd like it to be, and it makes things definitely a lot harder to interpret.
Lapikis flashes bunt, pulls it back. First pitch strike for Isaac Fix. Perhaps not the best decision to pull that bunt back.
Lapikis a single in his first trip back in the 2nd inning.
Swinging away this time, cutting a miss. Behind 0-2. the 0-2 from Fix. Off the end of the bat, blooper to shallow center field. Daly races in, fields it on one hop. 1-out single for Fordham's 8-hole hitter Reed Lapikis.
You gotta love that out of the bottom of the order right there, specifically out of Reed Lapikis. 2 hits for him on the day, 2 for 2. And if Jack Brennan can get something going here, could provide quite the opportunity once again for the top of the lineup to dig themselves out of the sizable hole that they've created.
After a promising start in the first inning, Fordham really hasn't had anything to show against Isaac Fix. Brennan takes a hack at the first pitch, fouls it off third base side. The one run that Fix allowed in this game was an unearned run. Nick Andrews led off the second inning, reached by an error by the shortstop Catrone, and that's the only run the Fordham Rams have to show for their day so far. Pickoff attempt at first base. Lapikis back without a slide.
Jack Brennan, a transfer from Bates College. A lot of speed at the bottom of this lineup. Brennan, 38 career stolen bases at Bates. He's the second team All-NESCAC in 2024, hitting .324 with 9 doubles and 15 stolen bags.
Brennan, one of the transfers that was brought in an effort to replace a lot of the infield talent, infield depth that Fordham lost last year. Another pickoff attempt. Lapikis back safely.
The good thing with that, though, is that Fordham has done a nice job in terms of recruiting new infielders as well. Matt Inako, Matt Dieguez come right in. It's definitely not an easy task to replace a Chris Gennaro or a Nico Boza. But Fordham's done a nice job of it, though.
1-1 count to the 9-hole hitter, Brennan. Brennan has looked like he got a piece of it. Instead, it's an 0-2 count. Fastball away, 1-2 count. Brennan has struggled a bit in the field. Hasn't been the hottest start for him hitting as well. It's really been the freshmen that have come up and taken a lot of the playing time in the infield. Taylor Kirk's come on well, shown the ability to play in the outfield and the infield. You have Anthony Gerbau, who's hit very well, especially for his first year at the D1 level.
And also Tommy Markey as well. Whenever he gets a start, he patrols out there in center field.
Ground ball to short, flip for one, on to first, not in time. But Davidson gets the lead runner, 4-6 on the flip from Putnam to Catrone.
It's a little too much wheels running down that first base line for Brennan. Breaks up the double play pretty seamlessly. Did a nice job on the backhand for Eli Putnam over to Jack Catrone to get the lead guy, and there are now 2 away in this bottom of the 4th.
We'll see if the green light on for Brennan at first base here. See if Fordham get a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Stays put, fastball strike to the leadoff man, Taylor Kirk. Single in the first inning, sac fly in the second. And his sac fly, the only RBI the Rams have so far in the day. 0-1, good pickoff attempt. Froze Brennan for a second, but able to slide in safely and just beat the tag. Taylor Kirk, one of the aforementioned freshmen that has slid into the infield rotation for the Fordham Rams. Another pickoff attempt, and once again, it's Brennan back safely.
Fick's doing a nice job with these pickoff attempts, because traditionally, an indicator to know if a left-handed pitcher is going to pick you off is if they're looking at the hitter.
Brennan goes. Throw down from Brooks. Nearly had the tag. A head-first slide by Jack Brennan. That was a marvelous throw by Will Brooks. Putnam racing over to try and get to the bag. Brennan just in safely.
Great throw from Brooks. Got to give a lot of credit to Putnam there, though.
Absolutely.
Neither Catrone or Putnam were there what am I trying to say? Neither of them got to the base before each other. Putnam took control and put together a very solid tag to make that a lot closer than it probably should have been.
Slider low. A 2-1 count for Taylor Kirk, so Fordham able to get a runner into scoring position with 2 outs, and they'll need some 2-out hitting to push him across. Athletic Brennan leads off at second base. Foul ball. Back off the netting. 2-2 count.
Another nice looking fastball there from Fix. It's that 2-seamer. You can definitely tell a lot more the more he throws it. It's just tailing away at the last second there. Rams doing a nice job of fighting it off, but getting those necessary strikes is Fix with the little 2-seam action.
2-2 comes in with the slider. Just missed.
Brooks
Full
wanted
count.
that one. Brooks really wanted that one.
I think for good reason. That was, to the naked eye, a perfect slider on the corner.
Definitely right on the corner there, maybe just a tad low. It's probably what Thurman Berry thought as well.
Full count for Taylor Kirk. Fix will spin around, throw to second base. Brennan really wasn't going anywhere.
That could have been a lot more dangerous than it had to be. Pickoff's to second base. The rule of thumb, you don't have to throw that ball. You can just do your inside move, step off the base, because that was to the left side of Putnam. If that goes into center field.
Fastball misses high. A 2-out walk to Taylor Kirk. Pair of runners on for the Fordham Rams. As the lineup had flipped over with Kirk, now the number 2 hitter, Kean Saylor, also singled back in the first inning.
And Rams need Saylor to replicate that first inning hit. Get this run across. Try to make this a 4-run deficit.
Left on left matchup. Off speed, missed. Looked pretty good, may have missed inside. O'Shaughnessy in at third. Goes back to the slider. That one misses well in. One thing you worry about Fix here is whether or not he'll lose the plate. Appears as if Davidson is thinking the same thing, as they'll head out for a mound visit.
They do have some activity just now starting up in the Davidson bullpen. Does look like a pitcher took their sweater off and is getting ready to warm up.
Pitching coach Joe Sheridan out to settle down Isaac Fix, who again has been very sharp today. 1 unearned run on 5 hits. 2 outs here in the 4th inning.
And the man warming up in the bullpen for the Wildcats now is junior right-handed pitcher number 21, Ed Hall. The hope here, though, for the Wildcats is that Fix can get out of this inning. They can save Hall and the rest of their bullpen for the remaining stretch of this contest.
It's a big at-bat here. Kean Saylor at the dish, 2 outs, and a favorable 2-0 count. You'd think this matchup would favor Isaac Fix, the lefty-on-lefty matchup, but Kean Saylor, over his 4 years at Fordham, has proven to be a tough out regardless of handiness. Slider misses away. It's off the glove of Brooks, and both runners advance. Brennan at third, Kirk at second. Wild pitch from Isaac Fix, and it doesn't seem as if the mound visit has had an immediate effect, at least.
It also doesn't seem as though that was a cross-up either. Looked like that was the pitch that was called. Brooks just mishandled it, tried to catch it, basically sticking the glove on the outside part of the base. You want to try to bring that one back inside.
Saylor taking all the way. Fastball misses low. And just like that, bases are loaded for the Fordham Rams with 2 outs. And don't look now, but up stepping to the plate, Daniel Bucciero, Fordham's star third baseman. Second team all-conference last year as a sophomore. A big chance to get Fordham back in this game.
And this is most likely going to be all Fix here. Hall just now got started throwing. Couldn't imagine that he's quite ready.
Bucciero jumps on the first pitch and fouls it deep on the right side.
But if you're the Rams, this is your guy. This is who you want up at the dish right now. Bucciero could make this ball game a lot closer. Make it a 1-run game instead of a 5-run game.
Huge cut and a miss. The slider just dropped off the table. Bucciero behind 0-2. And Fix has had the breaking ball working today. That might have been his best one.
It had to be. It had Bucciero in all sorts of fits right there. Lost a little bit of the grip of his bat as well.
0-2 from Fix. Fastball high. Take by Bucciero. 1-2 count. Speed at every base for the Fordham Rams. Brennan at third, Kirk at second, Saylor at first. Outfield playing deep. Infield straight up. Slider breaks in. Came close to the knee there by Bucciero. Instead, just a ball on a 2-2 count.
I think that's a good case in which you don't want to wear that one. This is your leader in stolen bases and definitely your overall best player.
Fastball comes in. Bucciero takes, and from an 0-2 count to a 3-2 count, Bucciero has worked the count full.
Fix has also changed his tempo a little bit. Started a little bit slower on those first 2 pitches, rushed those last 3, and here we are with a full count.
2 outs, runners will go. Hard ground ball to short. Catrone. Take the out at first. Yes, he got it. So Bucciero steps up with the bases loaded, works the count full, but grounds out to short. Isaac Fix strands the bases loaded for a second time in this game, and Davidson still in the driver's seat, a 6-1 lead as we head to the 5th.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rucco, WFUV class of 2008. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
Through innings for the Fordham Rams. Only 1 run, 5 hits. 8 runners left on base, 6 of them in scoring position. Can't say that Fordham hasn't had their chances. They just haven't come up when they've gotten them.
And 3 of those 8 base runners left on in that last inning, and obviously 3 from the no-out bases loaded situation that Fordham had back in the first. So as you're saying, Lou, the opportunities have been there. Fordham just not doing so great of a job so far of cashing in. And that's where Davidson's really biting them.
Bo Elson, the left-handed freshman, returns for his 3rd inning of work, and no one's stirring in a Fordham bullpen that was taxed a bit yesterday. Only used 1 reliever in game 1. That was Robbie Stewart. Had to turn to a few different arms in game 2. Let's see if Ellison can give the Rams some length here. Catrone, Schuhart, and the catcher Will Brooks due up here in the top of the 5th. And the first pitch hits Catrone on the shoulder. Location issues, the free base issues for the Fordham Rams do not seem to be letting up.
It's the 3rd consecutive inning in which the Fordham Rams have hit the leadoff batter.
That's unreal. That's an unreal stat.
Not good. You're already down, right? But even if you weren't, you're playing each inning down by leading off the inning with a hit by pitch.
So make it 14 across the 3-game series. Schuhart swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. Fastball high, gets a cut and a miss. And Elson has Schuhart where he wants him, an 0-2 count. Catrone leads off at first base. Elson deals. In on the hands, lifts it to left field. Lapikis there for out number 1.
It's a nice job there by Elson to get back into the groove. Hit that first batter. A little bit of an AB where you're fully ahead the entire time. Get back that confidence. Get a nice out. A little bit of help from the defense. And just like that, you're one pitch away from a potential double play and getting out of this inning unscathed.
Catcher Will Brooks at the plate. Takes first pitch strike. Well, his last at-bat, I mean, Will, you know the type of guys we are. We got to give love when we see small ball done well. Picture-perfect bunt down the first base line for an RBI.
It worked out to perfection. It was absolutely textbook.
Another fastball in the zone, 0-2 count. For Brooks, it has not been a great season with the bat, hitting below 200, but if you can do the little things like that, you're going to have a job for a long time. Fastball high, 1-2. I think that certainly rings true at the collegiate level where you still see a lot more small ball than you do in the big leagues.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Hit and run. Tapper, that's going to get through to right field. Dieguez wasn't able to get over in time. It trickles all the way out to Canales. And Davidson has runners on first and third with 1 out. A lightly hit chopper, but in the vacated hole at second base. Looked like Dieguez maybe had a chance to get there, but unable to get in front of that.
I think he definitely had a chance to get there. He was just unaware that Kirk was also going to cover the base on the steal. Just another textbook small ball play, the classic hit and run. Brooks executing all of the small ball tactics for Davidson so far today. The sacrifice bunt, as you were saying, Lou, and now a hit and run and first and third situation for the Wildcats.
Pickoff attempt at first base. That throw nearly sails over the head of Dieguez. Nice snag to keep the runners here. 9-hole hitter J.D. Woodall at the plate. Corners are in. Unfortunately, the other side of that small ball play is for the Fordham Rams. It's another instance where just not on the same page defensively, especially in the infield. That's been something that's really let them down. Woodall shows bunt, pulls back. Fastball is high. Fordham, one of the worst defensive teams in the A-10, and that is especially true of the infield defense.
And that would be a pretty deflating run to give up if you throw it over the first baseman's head on a pickoff attempt.
1-0. Woodall does square and bunt, misses the ball. 1-1 count.
Looked like he was going for a safety squeeze there. Difference between a safety squeeze and a suicide squeeze is that runner at third base, and Jack Catrone would have been breaking for home plate.
1-1 pitch. Showing bunt again is Woodall. Pulls back. That off speed missed away. So a 2-1 count, and we'll see if the bunt sign is still on. Woodall peers down the third base line. And time called by our third base umpire, Tim Carey. But play will resume. Be a violation against J.D. Woodall, pitch clock violation. Woodall didn't engage with Elson in time, so a free strike, a 2-2 count. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Elson deals off speed, breaks down and gets the call. Strike 3. Great looking slider and a big out number 2 with runners on the corners.
Well, Elson will definitely take that gift right there, Lou. You get the pitch clock violation by Woodall. It allows you to do a lot of different things that you couldn't have done without that pitch clock violation. Nice breaking ball right down the chute. one of those breaking balls that we've seen. It looks like a ball all the way through until about the last foot or two.
Jamie Daly takes first pitch strike. The lineup flips over for a fourth time, and a chance for one of the most dangerous bats in the A-10 to extend this Wildcats lead. Ahead 6-1, top of the fifth. Runners on the corners and 2 outs. Elson deals third base side of the rubber. Fires in another strike, and quickly behind is Daly 0-2. Already 2 strikes out. Let's try that again. Already 2 strikeouts on the day.
Something interesting to note here, too. Prior to that pitch, Bucciero still playing in front of the base, now more even with the base.
0-2 pitch. Off speed. Slapped down the third base line, but foul.
Bucciero now back up a little bit further away from the bag. Over at third base, now with 2 strikes and 2 outs.
Dieguez holding on Brooks at first. The 0-2, fastball misses high. Jamie Daly, career high 7 RBIs in game 2 of this series. A 17-6 win by the Wildcats. Chance for his first today. The 1-2. Skied high but foul on the left side.
Way ahead in this count still here, Lou, at 1-2. Wouldn't think that it's such a bad idea to maybe drop one of those curveballs a little bit shorter and in the dirt. You're going to have to force McAndrews to block it a little bit, but you have that leeway ahead in the count like Elson is right now.
Here's the 1-2. Fouled off again. This has been a great at-bat by the Davidson freshman.
That's why he was probably as highly recruited as he was. You were saying earlier, Lou, Jamie Daly out of Georgia, big-time recruit, decides to settle with the Davidson Wildcats, a good program in a very scrappy conference at the Atlantic 10 in terms of baseball.
Do the 1-2 again. Cut on a miss. Strike 3. McAndrews will do the throw down to first base for good measure. It's that slider breaking away, and Daly down swinging for the 3rd time today. So a scoreless 5th frame, or a scoreless 5th inning rather, for Bo Elson. Puts runners on the corners, but able to navigate out of it. Fordham Rams coming to bat, still trailing by 5. Lou Orlando and Will Tallant, Fordham Baseball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Ben Oppenheimer reminding you to tune in to New York's longest running sports call-in show, One on One. Catch One on One live on the WFUV Sports YouTube channel every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then later on 90.7 FM from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We'll catch you next Saturday on One on One.
Well, despite some action in the Davidson bullpen, it's Isaac Fix who will return for his 5th inning of work. And he's been sharp so far. A bounce-back effort by the Davidson southpaw. 1 unearned run on 5 hits. And in the 4th inning, he stranded the bases loaded for a 2nd time. And I mean, perhaps there's a couple different ways to feel about it. A, you've loaded the bases twice in this game, not great. But B, you haven't allowed a run.
Confidence and control. Yes, you've loaded the bases, but you've gotten out of those jams. You load the bases with the first 3 batters that you see, and then you come back and you get 3 consecutive outs, 2 by way of the K. Why not have Isaac Fix out here again? 4 innings pitched. He's up at 77 pitches. So unless this is, between a 3 and 9 pitch inning, this could be it for Fix. But 4 innings pitched, 77 pitches, 5 hits, 1 run, not earned, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. He's faced 21 batters so far. Really nice and comforting day for the lefty on his season after, 4 or 5 pretty rough outings.
It'll be 3 straight righties due up. Starts Canales out with a slider that misses away. You mentioned the pitch count at 77, the season high for Isaac Fix would be 97. That was in a start against Lafayette on March 1st. So perhaps a little bit of room to go, certainly in this inning. Be a little shocked if he's back out after the 6th.
It all really depends on how the Fordham Rams respond in this inning specifically. If they make it a brisk inning for Fix, yeah, we'll see him back in the 6th. But if they make him throw 15 to 20 pitches, wouldn't be shocked if Davidson gets that bullpen rolling.
Fastball away, so a 2-0 count to Fordham's cleanup hitter. Fastball struck well to deep left center field. Woodall back at the wall, leaping up, toppled over the wall, but made the catch. Oh my goodness, what a grab by J.D. Woodall. Robbed a home run.
Wow. Unbelievable, Lou. Excellent defense out there by J.D. Woodall as the rain starts to come down a little bit harder. He was teetering on the fence. That was awesome.
He kept himself from toppling completely over the wall, but at one point, there was no part of his body that was touching the grass. He was completely horizontal on that outfield wall. That's a great play.
I love the anticipation. I love when the game goes this way, Lou Orlando.
Little Chaz McAdams flair there.
But he was
swinging a miss by Akko.
He was teetering on the fence there, holding everyone in this sort of anticipation. Did he catch it? Did he not? Is it a home run? What is it? Comes back up, sticks his arm up in the air. That's a catch, the first out of the inning.
Fastball inside, misses the zone 1-1 to Matt and Akko. There's two things I like after you leap over the wall and you make a catch. It's the immediate show that you got the ball and the uproar. And then I like as there's a foul ball off the foot of Akko, the Julio Rodriguez, make the catch, walk for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Very comical
Don't tell anybody.
And then just very coyly show the ball.
And then throw it back in.
There's a few ways to do it, but if you want to put on a show, I'm all for it.
That's why his Instagram handle is the J-Rod Show.
Fastball comes in, 2-2 count to Akko. He should be on MLB The Show cover at some point.
I think he will. He needs to have a bounce-back year this year.
I think he will.
Last year, Rodriguez, not that prolific bat that the Seattle Mariners really needed him to be.
Fastball from Fix misses away, 3-2.
But a very, very strong start to his young career. Still only, I believe, 23 or 24 years old.
Be a full count pitch here to Akko. And it skips into the turf, so that's a 6-pitch walk by the Fordham DH and a 1-out base runner.
Here's a little nugget. Akko, 2 full counts of his 3 at-bats. The second one he struck out looking, and that was at 2-2. But that was one of those borderline strikes, that backdoor slider that got him on the inside. Akko, though, as we were saying earlier in the broadcast, Lou, one of the more impressive jumps from a freshman to a sophomore campaign.
Diego is up, first pitch swinging, and cuts and misses on the fastball. I mean, what maybe gets lost in that fantastic catch by Woodall in left field is that so far not the best inning for Isaac Fix. What could have been a home run and then a 6-pitch walk to Akko. If you look at the season as a whole for Isaac Fix, it has not been great. The ERA just shy of 10. His last 4 starts, he's been roughed up. Again, loses the zone as he misses away, 2-1. He's been brilliant today so far. But as you kind of saw in the first inning and the 4th inning, all it takes is, one hit with the bases loaded to completely turn this game on its head. Comes inside and misses again, so this is another 3-ball count here for Isaac Fix.
And even if the Rams just got 1 run in that inning, who knows what the story is for this game. Maybe Chase Hannawalt has a little bit more confidence going out there with just a tad and a smidge of run support after that first inning. Just didn't work out that way. Isaac Fix, he's rolling with the kind of run support that he's seen so far today.
3-1 pitch, little chopper. Fix fields it at the mound and gets the lead runner at second base. Nonchalant throw, sidearm angle to cut down Akko. Isaac Fix having a great day.
Pitchers are athletes, Lou.
They certainly are.
They genuinely
and he proved
are.
it on that play.
Absolutely. You should have a T-shirt on that says that. Pitchers
Get
are
John Boy on
athletes. Absolutely. That was an
He used to be in the
excellent
Bronx.
play. I honestly thought it went past him at first, and he kind of nonchalantly just underhanded it over to the second baseman, Eli Putnam, to get the lead runner. That's exactly what you want. It wasn't the easiest of situations, but it worked out.
Pickoff attempt. They had Dieguez leaning. Again, Isaac Fix, the southpaw, has got a little bit of a deception there with that pickoff. Dieguez gets back safely, but certainly made it close. McAndrews up, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th, Rams trailing 6-1. Fastball inside. McAndrews reached by error in the second, came around to score. Popped up to Schuhart at first base in the 4th inning.
We were talking about T-shirts. You know what one of my favorite pitcher T-shirts is?
Another pickoff attempt. Good scoop by Schuhart to keep that from getting away.
Left-handed relief pitcher for the Rangers and Oakland and Detroit, Andrew Chafin.
Big fan of him.
He's great. Great mustache as well.
Mm-hmm.
He rocks the failed starter T-shirt.
This would be a 3rd pickoff attempt here at Isaac Fix. Perhaps a little worried about Dieguez at first base. Also have to think at this point, probably Fix's last inning of the day.
You would assume so. He's at 91 pitches now.
Do the pickoff one more time, and I think lucky that the rain has scared away many Fordham students. We've seen some rambunctious crowds here, and I think on a different day, they'd be letting him hear it at this point.
That home opener against Iona had to issue out a warning.
Slider breaks in, catches the outside corner. A 1-1 count. Yeah, there's been no foul language today. Perhaps that's for the best.
I think so. It's usually better when there aren't so many pleasantries exchanged.
Fastball high and away, 2-1 count. McAndrews looking for a way to extend this inning. For Fix, the pitch count now over 90. And another pickoff attempt. A little curious, Dieguez really not much of a lead at first base. But on that first one, they almost got him.
They did, yeah. They had him leaning, so why not take as many chances as you can get? But it doesn't really seem like he wants to go anywhere.
2-1 is sent out well to right center field. That chases Cannon back, but has some room and makes the catch for out number 3. The Fordham offense has been stymied. Madanako extends his on-base streak to 12 games, but the Rams held scoreless in the 5th inning. A great catch by J.D. Woodall to rob Canales of a home run. And it's Davidson ahead 6-1 as we head to the 6th inning.
I'm Chaz McAdams.
And I'm Ben Oppenheimer.
And we are 2 of your hosts for On the Hill, the flagship podcast of Fordham Athletics.
We'll be talking about everything from football at Moglia Stadium
to hoops at the historic Rose Hill Gym,
discussing the ins and outs of all Ram athletes, teams, and big games.
If you want to be part of the Ramily, then listen to On the Hill from WFUV Sports.
Fordham baseball on WFUV Sports. Orlando Will Tallant. The Fordham Rams trailing 6-1 in the final game of a 3-game series against the Davidson Wildcats. It's Bo Elson, the left-hander, returning for his 4th inning of work. At the very least, Elson, who's been sharp today, is eating innings for this Fordham bullpen. It's been a lopsided weekend for Fordham baseball, but some good news coming from Fordham softball. We just received word from our SID, Scott Kwiatkowski, a 4-3 win in 8 innings to sweep George Mason Leadoff double by Sydney Wells, the RBI walk-off double by Eva Karatzis. And Fordham softball, good things happening for them. At home, actually, they're right here. They're probably a few hundred yards away at Bohoshi Field.
And a little bit of a rain delay, too. I want to say it was about an hour, too. They had to tarp the field, get it all prepared, but they're on a roll, man. 9 wins in a row, 20-16, 11-1 at home for Fordham softball.
2-3-4 in the Davidson lineup. It starts with the very dangerous Eli Putnam. Takes a first pitch slider for a strike. Prior to water polo's ascension to a national powerhouse, the real program you could hang your hat on at Fordham was softball.
Absolutely.
Slider misses away. I mean, one of the few, outside of water polo, one of the few programs that has won a conference title while we've been students. And that's the start of, that'd be the fall of 2021 for both you and I.
And they won.
Slider up and away.
Got to jog the memory a little bit. That was what, spring of 2022?
Spring of 2022. They had that really good, I think 8 or 9 different hitters that had an 800 OPS or higher. Foul ball down the third base line. Led by a strong pitching staff. Devin Miller, obviously. A really strong lineup.
Top to bottom, too. They had a lot of depth. And they had depth on the bench, too. That was when Sydney Wells was a freshman.
Absolutely. Well, she was an afterthought on a stacked Fordham team.
Yeah.
Elson misses low and a full count to Davidson star Eli Putnam. Putnam perhaps goes unnoticed, was very much under the radar until last season. Broke out in a big way, first team All-A-10 as he fouls that back. I mean, look at the slash line from last year. 51 games started, hit .352, led the conference in slugging and home runs, batted in 58 RBIs. Obviously a big year. What goes, I would say, a little bit under the radar is his previous 2 seasons only had 5 games started. Full count, pitch, fastball inside, so Putnam, after a lengthy at-bat, works a leadoff walk. He'll be aboard to start the 6th. I just think remarkable that Davidson, he's a redshirt junior now, so he was able to get a couple years of eligibility back, but Davidson had this supreme talent. He wasn't even really making an impact until last season.
And they were a really good ball club. I mean, under Rucker Taylor, they've had some monster seasons, so you have to kind of pray for your opportunities, and when you get them, you got to run with them. Putnam's definitely done that.
Cannon, ground ball back up the middle. Kirk flips to short. Not in time at first base is the throw from Brennan, but they do get the lead runner. So Cannon reaches on fielder's choice.
I want to throw a little note out there. It'll be the right-handed pitcher, sophomore Conan Smith, warming up in the bullpen for the Rams, as Bo Elson has done an incredible job in his relief appearance on this Saturday afternoon.
Here's a chance for O'Shaughnessy. 4th plate appearance of the day. Reached base twice, single and hit by pitch. His 3rd time today facing Bo Elson in this lefty-on-lefty matchup. Sider Cannon off and running. McAndrews, a bullet down. Slips under the glove of Jack Brennan. Backing up and keeping it in the infield is the second baseman, Taylor Kirk.
And that is the 5th stolen base in 7 tries for Eli Putnam this season.
It's Cannon.
Apologies.
4 for 4 on the year. Reached on the fielder's choice. And Cannon off and running for 3rd. McAndrews fires, not in time. Bucciero applied the tag on the helmet. That was a great jump by Sider Cannon, with Bo Elson not doing a lot to keep him close to the bag. Got a great jump, and that's 2 stolen bases, and all of a sudden on 3rd base with less than 2 outs.
So now it makes more sense. Cannon now with his 5th stolen base.
So you were right. We just had to get there.
And he now just became the team leader with that 2nd stolen base. He's 5 of 5 on this season.
Infield in, shift to the right. Fastball comes inside and nearly clipped O'Shaughnessy. Just missed him. Three infielders on the right side of second base. That'll be Brennan, Kirk, and Dieguez. Bucciero, the lone infielder, on the left side. Here's the 1-2. Fastball fouled off.
Yeah, going back to what you were saying, though, Lou, Elson really not holding on any runners when they reach second base or further than that. The lefty, obviously, you have the advantage of holding him on at first, but that was a really solid jump at first base when he stole second. And going from second to third is usually a harder stolen base. Sider made it look really easy.
1-2, off speed, misses high. And you want to put that up against, talking about keeping the runners in check, compare that to what Isaac Fix has done. The deception on the mound where you really can't tell if he's coming home or if he's going to the bag, and how much attention he's paid, especially to runners at first base. Night and day difference. 2-2 from Elson. Fouled off once again by O'Shaughnessy. Great battle here. O'Shaughnessy, the reigning A10 player of the week. Davidson receiving that honor in back-to-back weeks. First it was Putnam, now O'Shaughnessy.
You know, what you were saying too, Lou, it's about the frequency in which you do throw over if you're a lefty, and Fix has done a really good job of changing that up.
2-2 again. Fastball high, 3-2 count. O'Shaughnessy, no stranger to knocking in runners. 36 RBIs, leads Davidson this year. And one of the reasons he got A10 Player of the Week, 9 RBIs in a single game against Dayton on Saturday. That's the 4th most of any player in D1 baseball this year. Fastball at the corner. Got the call, strike 3, delayed call from Thurman Berry behind the plate. O'Shaughnessy down looking for the second out, and that one was right on the black.
Really nice job there by Bo Elson, being a freshman and all. Fought and fought and fought, a more experienced at-bat with O'Shaughnessy, making him throw a lot of pitches. Elson just fires in his best stuff, and it's an absolute paint job.
Terezzo takes the slider high. If Bo Elson can get out of this inning scoreless, he can look back on a day he can be proud of. He's
for sure
eating up some length here for the bullpen. Hard ground ball down the line at third. Bucciero snags. Long throw across the diamond. Great pick by Dieguez at first base. And Elson, for the 3rd straight inning, strains a runner in scoring position. And he'll end his day with 4 innings, only allows 2 runs. He's kept the Rams in this game. Still trailing 6-1 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Fordham baseball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Ben Oppenheimer reminding you to tune in to New York's longest running sports call-in show, One on One. Catch One on One live on the WFUV Sports YouTube channel every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then later on 90.7 FM from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We'll catch you next Saturday on One on One.
Hey guys, Grace McCarran here with Jack Warner.
And we're 2 of your hosts for Nosebleeds, WFUV's one and only baseball podcast.
We'll keep you in the loop on all tri-state news with the Yankees and Mets,
as well as the biggest headlines from around the MLB.
Catch weekly episodes of Nosebleeds on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Take a trip around the bases with Nosebleeds on WFUV Sports.
pitching change for the Davidson Wildcats after 5 strong innings, only allowing 1 unearned run. Isaac Fix's day is done. It's the junior right-hander Ed Hall making his 12th appearance of the year, a 7.98 ERA.
Ed Hall, his last time out is definitely what inflated that ERA. Had a very respectable season going into that, and it's been inflated for sure. At Dayton in the loss, he went 3 innings, giving up 6 runs on 7 hits, walking 2 and striking out 5.
Fastball misses. Lapikis will start this at bat ahead 1-0. It's 8-9-1 and the Fordham order due up. Bottom of the 6th, Rams trail by 5. Fastball at the knees for a strike, count 1-1. And let's talk a little bit about Isaac Fix, because coming into this game really struggling. It was one of the storylines that we had outlined. Fix's last 4 games, as Hall delivers and catches the knees once again, a 1-2 count. His last 4 starts, 24 earned runs in 10 1/3 innings. That's a 20.97 ERA. And he didn't allow an earned run today. He shut down a Fordham offense that has produced a lot this year. Fouled off by Lapikis.
Oh, that'll definitely help with confidence going into your next appearance or start, whatever the case may be, if you're Isaac Fix. For those keeping track at home, Fix, 5 innings pitched. He threw 95 pitches, surrendered 1 run, not earned, on 5 hits, walking 4, striking out 3, and facing 25 batters. But yes, Lou, that is tremendous for Isaac Fix.
Half swing from Lapikis. He went around, strike 3. So Ed Hall opens his day with a strikeout.
A new look for these Rams with a right-handed heavy lineup. Hall comes in now with Fix not getting any matchups other than King and Sailor. Hall has all the matchups.
9-hole hitter Brennan. First pitch swing, a little squeaker. Diving attempt by Schuhart off his glove. And infield single by Brennan.
And Brennan now has reached base 2 of his 3 times up. Fielder's choice back in the 4th. Stole a base and got all the way around to 3rd. Didn't score. A sack, bunt back in the 2nd. Now a base hit to his ledger today.
Mentioning with Hall that certainly his last outing against Dayton, and that was a high-scoring series, skews the numbers a little bit, but has allowed a run in 3 straight outings in 4 of his last 5. Fordham looking to get some back. Slider breaks away. 1-0 count. Taylor Kirk, Fordham leadoff man, makes his 4th plate appearance of the day. And again, if you think you're going to get a crack at getting some runs back, and you typically think it's going to happen with the heart of that order, Kirk, Sailor, Bucciero, Canales. It's usually a pretty good way to push some runs across.
Kirk, a great day so far. He's 1 for 1 with a sac fly in the 2nd and a walk back in his last trip up in the 4th.
Hall spikes the fastball, a 2-0 count to the Fordham second baseman. It's Schuhart on the first base bag, and Putnam playing relatively close up the middle, so a big hole on the right side at second base. Slider, big breaking slider. That does not get the call on the outside corner. 3-0 count.
Great spot to be if you're Taylor Clark. Let's try that one again.
Absolutely.
Taylor Kirk and the Fordham Rams. Try to get on base right now. Put some more base runners on for the top of the lineup.
3-0 fastball catches the zone. Fordham was unable to leap on Davidson's struggling starter, Isaac Fix, who was excellent today. Now they'll have to get it done against the Davidson bullpen. Fastball misses low and away. It's a 5-pitch walk for Taylor Kirk, who's aboard for the 3rd time today.
3 times today, 2 via the walk. Excellent day and an ideal day for Kevin Layton's leadoff guy.
I mean, should mention this. I mean, the whole point of leadoff hitter is, hey, get aboard. Single in the 1st inning and the 2 walks. Taylor Kirk, now a career-high 11-game hitting streak and a 20-game on-base streak. That's what you want out of your leadoff hitter.
100%.
First pitch swinging is Saylor, sends it deep out to center field. Daly back, settles under it for out number 2, and the runners stay put. Well-struck ball by Saylor, but just hung up there long enough for Daly to get back to it.
A little surprised that Brennan didn't retreat to the base a little bit sooner to attempt tagging up, but he was definitely banking on that ball falling into the gap if it did, and he would be able to score a lot easier. But still, with a lot of power coming up in Daniel Bucciero, there's an opportunity to get across another run.
Another good chance for Bucciero. Had the bases loaded with 2 outs. His last at-bat grounded out to short. Spin and throw from Ed Hall to the second base bag. Keeping Brennan close. That one wasn't really a close play at all there. Bucciero, another chance with runners in scoring position. Hall sets at the belt and deals. Misses well outside, 1-0.
And Bucciero, pair of groundouts to the shortstop Catrone in the 3rd and 4th innings. And he walked in his first trip up in the 1st inning.
Hall comes back with a strike.
It's a good-looking pitch there by Hall, changing the eye level a little bit after firing in a fastball.
Half swing, but it caught the barrel of the bat. A foul ball as it rolls to the Fordham dugout. Bucciero in a 2-strike count, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Rams have a pair of runners on, and they're looking to get their first run since the 2nd inning. It's Fordham's star at the plate, righty-on-righty matchup. Hall sets and deals. Tapper back up the middle. Catrone charges. Throw onto first. Beats him by a half step. Once again, Fordham Rams leave runners in scoring position. It's still a 6-1 ball game as we head to the 7th.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rucco, WFUV class of 2008. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
Back with you. We're 6 innings in the books. Davidson in full control, a 6-1 lead. And after 4 excellent innings, Bo Elson's day is done. Kevin Layton will turn it over to the sophomore Cohen Smith. Honolulu native, makes his 11th appearance on the season, and a high-scoring Richmond series. And will they say one game can ruin your ERA? That is certainly the case. Entered play with a 3 ERA, but in his final game of the series, only recorded 1 out, allowed 7 earned runs, and that's going to take the ERA from 3 to 7.04.
Yeah, that's a shame because all of these outings listed on his game logs beforehand have been relatively spectacular. He came in 2 days before the opening game against Richmond, had 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 earned run, and 1 strikeout. Before that, he threw 3 innings, giving up 3 hits, no runs, walking 3 and striking out 5 against Wagner. So 1 bad outing could then determine what the line says for however long, however many opportunities he gets to correct that 1 bad outing. Today could be his day to reverse that.
Well, how about the job that Bo Elson did in relief? The left-handed freshman, Fordham starter Chase Hannawalt only lasts 2 innings, 45 pitches, allows 4 runs. Elson comes in and sure allows 2 runs in his first inning of work, but goes 4 innings, 76 pitches, and held Davidson scoreless after that first inning. His full line, 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a walk and 4 strikeouts.
He was truly fantastic out of the bullpen. Exactly what you need, limiting all the damage that he could after the starter, Hannawalt, giving up 4 earned runs. The one thing that did bite Elson and got him into a little bit of trouble was the hit by pitches, but he then slowly corrected that and put together a solid outing.
First pitch strike by Smith, comes back, gets the swing and a miss on Jack Catrone, the Davidson shortstop, who's quickly behind 0-2.
Catrone, he scored twice today. He walked back in the second, singled in the third, scored during both of those trips around the bases.
Big breaking slider goes all the way into the left-handed batter's box. 1-2 count. Well, Smith's got some excellent stuff. 16 strikeouts in 15 1/3 innings this season. Sophomore deals. Slider rolled slowly to third. Bucciero charge, a throw on the run, and the pick not able to be made by Dieguez at first base. So Catrone will reach to open the 7th inning.
And he'll reach on an E5, but he's reached base. Excuse me, that's a correction, and they are going to call that a base hit. So Catrone 2 for 2 on the day, reaching base all 4 times that he's gotten. Now, it was a tough play down there. Bucciero did a nice job fielding that, throwing it off the back leg. Dieguez could not pick it out. Davidson with a leadoff base runner.
So Schuart up, runner on first base, no outs. Davidson looking to add to a 5-run lead. Smith misses high with the first pitch. RBI double in the second, RBI single in the third. Nice enough day for Schuart at the bottom of this order. Wave and a miss at a sharp slider from Cohen Smith. 1-1 count.
One thing I want to point out, too, because we were mentioning Davidson's head coach, Rucker Taylor, and this lineup that gets on base at an incredible clip. Rucker Taylor, graduate of Vanderbilt, played for famous head coach Tim Corbin down in Nashville.
Fouled off right field slide. 1-2 count.
The one thing I wanted to point out, though, is that Taylor led Vanderbilt in on-base percentage 2 years in a row, his last 2 seasons as a Commodore. So I wonder if there's any correlation as to why his team gets on base so frequently.
I mean, he's certainly got a lot of players that get on base up and down the lineup. 1-2 count. Slider. Got the call. Strike 3. Delayed call from Thurman Berry behind the plate. Made both sides wait. But that was a picture-perfect slider by Cohen Smith for out number 1.
Thurman Berry taking his time on those calls.
Well, we were talking about in the outfield when you rob a home run, the Julio Rodriguez, let's wait a little bit, let's be coy, and then let's make the call. That's what Thurman Berry's doing just behind home plate. Not sure I appreciate it as much from the home plate umpire, to be honest.
It could kind of throw a wrench in the system that we got going on up here in the booth.
It's getting in the way of my job.
Yeah.
Will Brooks at the plate. He's had a great day. Sack bunt RBI, a single his last at bat. Looked a little silly on that slider. Man, Cohen Smith has a really sharp slider.
Nice repertoire. Can really rev it up there with the fastball and break it off when he needs to with that slider. Good pitch mix to watch, especially coming out of a sophomore.
Pickoff attempt at first base. You're mentioning Rucker Taylor and the success that Davidson has had under him. So 7th season at Davidson. In total, this is just their 11th year in the A-10. Fouled back once again by Brooks. Their first 10 seasons in the A-10, so that's every year except this one that's currently happening. 8 of them above 500 in A-10 play. Won the title in 2017. 59 wins. That's the highest total under Taylor. They've just had a lot of success. Slider breaks over the plate for a strike. And that'll be strike 3. Back-to-back Ks by Cohen Smith.
Number 30, J.D. Woodall.
You're absolutely right, though, Lou. A lot of success under Rucker Taylor. He comes from a very successful background. Tim Corbin, one of the more famous coaches and successful coaches in college baseball history over in Vanderbilt. He's been the head coach there since 2003.
Big swing and a miss on the slider. Man, that continues to give this Davidson lineup fits. I know it's the bottom of the order, but it's a bottom of the order that's been very productive. 5 of the 6 RBIs today have come from 7, 8, 9 in the Davidson lineup. Turns around, shows bunt, misses away, 1-1 count.
Can't ask for much more than that. You gotta love the productivity from 7, 8, and 9. It makes the job of the table setters a lot easier.
Slider into the dirt. Good stop by McAndrews to keep it in front of him. Will, you and I both Yankee fans, was watching Yes Network the other day, and that was one of the things they highlighted post-game was they made a point to say, look at what the bottom of the order did. It's a game changer when you get that production from whether it's 7, 8, 9, whether it's 6, 7, 8, 9 in that order. It lengthens your lineup. It gives your top guys in the lineup more at-bats. And a game like today, it's the bottom of the order. That's the difference. Fordham has a run, but 5 RBIs, 5 of the 6 runs from Davidson coming from 7, 8, 9.
And all the guys scoring as well, 5 through 9.
Woodall bunts. It's off of his foot. Foul ball and a 2-2 count. How about Woodall dropping down a bunt with 2 outs in the inning?
Why not? Make something happen.
A lot of small ball that you'll see in the A-10.
But to add to what I was saying, too, before, Lou, when everyone has a on-base percentage of over 35%, there's a lot of different possibilities.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 3 straight strikeouts for Cohen Smith to shut the door on the 7th. And it's time to stretch. Fordham Rams trailing 6-1. We head to the bottom of the 7th, and we go into it on a brilliant outing of relief from Cohen Smith.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Oh, listen to that. Chilla Luna playing at Houlihan Park for the 7th inning stretch. Davidson in control, a 6-1 lead. It'll be 4-5-6 in the Fordham order due up, and got some Italian roots myself. I love to get the Italian going a little bit. That's fun.
Absolutely.
It's
It's all
for
about
everyone.
the wrist, a lot of wrist action,
Yes.
3 fingers involved, middle, index, and thumb.
Gotta be loose.
Exactly.
Credit to the fans that are in attendance here. It's an ugly and rainy Saturday in the Bronx. Game was delayed 30 minutes. Uncertainty about which day this game would be played, as the rain certainly coming down stronger than it was at the beginning of this game. Hall gets a first pitch strike. I mean, that was the release from Fordham baseball was Game 3 will be played Saturday or Sunday, depending on rain. They go with Saturday, and well, the fans have stuck it out, and they had some fun despite the lopsided score and some of the weather conditions. Sharp slider breaks in, and an 0-2 count against Fordham's cleanup hitter.
And it looks like now, Lou, the wind has picked up the most that we've seen so far today. That American flag is our judgment. Looks like it's blowing in from right to left, and the nets on the backstop are really blowing back as well.
Slider chopped to third. O'Shaughnessy, couple skips, throw across the diamond, and in time for out number 1.
A nice play there by O'Shaughnessy. Light Nubbard down the third base line and a quick out for the reliever Hall. That's going to be the recipe for success to close this ball game out if you're the Wildcats. Get these easy outs. Get yourself in count to make those easy outs if you're Hall.
Hall comes set at the belt. His first pitch to Matanako, fouled back. I mean, Will, I'm sure you've clocked this as well. How much weak contact Davidson's induced today?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's been incredible. Isaac Fix really only had a few balls that were truly tagged out into the outfield, and even hard ground balls as well. They've been doing a nice job of limiting hard contact all day.
Fastball at the knees for strike two. Ed Hall coming out and attacking the zone here, not messing around at all in this 7th inning. The 0-2 to Akko. Swung on and missed, strike three. Hall's made quick work of the first two Fordham batters in this order. Gets his second strikeout of the day.
Now, I don't have Hall's exact repertoire in front of me, but just based on what I saw right there, that looked like a split-finger fastball because it had that same velo, but it just dropped at the last second there, and Akko was way out in front of it, had to go to a knee to try to golf it anywhere into the field of play, and came up short. Hall, another punch out to his ledger.
First pitch strike to Matt Dieguez. And you listen to professional hitters talk, that seems to be one of the toughest pitches to pick up at the hand. You know, some people
Absolutely.
say, slider, you can see the spinning red dot as Dieguez takes a hack and a miss. Sometimes you can see the curveball pop out of the hands. That split finger fastball, because it's still got that velo and the spin looks pretty similar, that gives hitters fits.
It does. The grip is not the same. You use more of the horseshoe, and you widen those fingers out.
Dieguez half swing, one around, yes sir. Back-to-back Ks by Ed Hall. Puts the Rams down 1-2-3 in the 7th. And Davidson just shutting down a very strong Fordham lineup. 2 innings left here from the Bronx. 6-1 Wildcats. Back in a second on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Ben Oppenheimer reminding you to tune in to New York's longest running sports call-in show, One on One. Catch One on One live on the WFUV Sports YouTube channel every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then later on 90.7 FM from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We'll catch you next Saturday on One on One.
Top of the 8th, Fordham and Davidson continuing to play through some tough weather conditions. And, well, Will, you and I, safe and cozy up here in the Vin Scully broadcasting booth, but out there, the wind whipping very hard across the field, right to left. You can see the rain coming in at an angle. This is not a picture-perfect April baseball.
No, it's definitely not. And usually April baseball across all levels.
I guess April baseball is kind of ugly.
It usually is. It's usually pretty cold, pretty damp, or it's really nice out. It doesn't really, sometimes it snows up here in the Northeast. You never know what you're going to get, but the true beauty of April is you still have all 4 seasons in one before we get into summer.
Was it Detroit or Chicago? That happened fairly recently that there was snow around opening day.
Miguel Cabrera home run off of Shane Bieber in the snow. I remember that.
Cohen Smith back out for a second inning of work. Have to face the top of the Davidson order. Starts with Jamie Daly. It's been a struggle for him today. 3 strikeouts, all swinging. Did reach base by walk on in the second inning. And ahead in the count here, 3-0. Smith deals and misses up and away. A 4-pitch walk. The Davidson leadoff man, and that is not someone you want on the base paths, especially with no outs.
Absolutely not. They've done a very nice job in limiting Daly's trips around the bases. It's just the second time that he's reached base, and twice now via the walk. A strikeout victim 3 times, but your leadoff guy gets on base. That's why he's the leadoff guy, and here we are now in the 8th inning.
Smith bounces back with a first pitch strike against Putnam. Mentioned that he was A-10 Player of the Week a couple weeks ago. Truly remarkable how amazing that week was. Smith sets and deals, slider breaks away, 1-1 count. In 4 games, 13 for 17, 5 home runs, 14 RBIs.
Yeah.
12 of those hits and all 5 home runs came in the 3-game set against VCU. So not just A-10 Player of the Week, got some love nationally. Slider does not get the call for a strike. Looked awfully close. 2-1 count. Golden Spikes Award Player of the Week and the Perfect Game National Player of the Week. That is impressive stuff. And it makes sense. I mean, that's an unreal 4-game stretch.
Just straight up mashing. Mashing like potatoes.
Look at that. It's a good phrase.
I always have to turn it into food. I love
You're
food.
hungry. I think you're hungry.
I'm
you eating
very,
today
very,
yet?
no, not at all.
Oh,
Not at all.
Gotta
Just 2
change
cups
that.
of coffee, and here I am.
Gotta change that when this game is over. 3-1 count to Putnam. Runner on first. Slider bounced in the dirt. Back-to-back walks to the top of this Davidson lineup. First Daly, now Putnam.
Right fielder number 29.
And that is 9 pitches, only 1 strike to start out this inning from Cohen Smith.
And Smith seems like he's rushing a little bit here. He's just got that 1 strike across, as you said, Lou. 2 back-to-back walks now. He's got to compose himself, settle down just a little bit, find that feel, the touch and feel that you had in that last inning that made you just so effective.
Cider Cannon takes first pitch away. Cohen Smith was dominant in that 7th inning, and that was only 10 minutes ago. Fordham goes down very quickly in the bottom of the 7th, so relatively short rest for Cohen Smith. Struck out 3 straight batters, and he's completely lost the zone. Fastball inside, deflects off the glove of McAndrews, but runners will stay put.
He didn't get into a 3-ball count once against the 4 batters that he faced in the 7th, and now in danger of getting to his 3rd straight 3-ball count is Fordham pitching coach Elliot Glynn will make a mound visit to talk with his sophomore right-hander.
And that was a necessary trip for
absolutely.
how sharp and how aggressive Cohen Smith was in that 7th inning, attacking the zone, using the slider, and getting swing and misses seemingly at will. Well, you're not going to get a lot of swing and misses. A, if the slider is not anywhere close to the zone, but B, if you don't have the zone at all and you don't have a fastball to work off of, it's very easy to take that slider and not chase it.
You don't have any command of any of those pitches, and your bread and butter was that 4-seam in that last inning, and you've lost that. So you got to try to find one of those 3 or 4 pitches that he uses in the repertoire to just get it over as a strike. Definitely the heart. It's not that easy in this kind of weather that we're in right now today. Cold conditions still, rain very on and off. It's a steady drizzle. Sometimes it'll be more than a drizzle. Just, as we were saying before, April-esque conditions up here in the Northeast.
Smith misses away with a slider, a 3-0 count to Cannon. Runners on first and second, no outs in the top of the 8th. Davidson a 6-1 lead. No stirring yet from the Fordham bullpen. Slider gets the call on the outside corner for a strike. And that looked a lot sharper than some of the other breaking pitches we had seen him spin off so far in this inning.
It had to. It was a get-me-over strike. Sometimes you see that as a curveball or a slider. Adam Wainwright used to do that a lot.
Line drive into left field. That'll get to the wall. Lapikis has some trouble with it. 1 run scores. Putnam will stay put at 3rd. An RBI double for Cider Cannon. A 7-1 lead for Davidson in the top of the 8th.
Great swing right there by Cider Cannon. way ahead in the count. You got to take advantage, and that's exactly what Cannon did. Got a breaking ball, got it in the zone, barreled it up. Nice shot out into the left center field gap, and Davidson will get their first run to cross since the third inning.
Yeah, credit to Bo Elson, who has done a nice job of keeping this game and this team quiet in the middle innings, but Davidson getting to Cohen Smith here in his second inning of work. 2 in scoring position for O'Shaughnessy. Swings and fouls it back, but was right on it.
O'Shaughnessy, 1 hit on his line today. He struck out looking back in the 6th, his last trip up. Ground out to second base, a hit by pitch, a single in that K. Looking is the line for Michael O'Shaughnessy today.
Half swing, little nubber foul picked up by McAndrews. Some action in the Fordham bullpen. That'll be the senior right-hander Connor Haywood, as Cohen Smith struggling here in the 8th inning. A chance to get his first out, an 0-2 count to the cleanup hitter O'Shaughnessy. Right on left as Smith deals. Set at the waist. 0-2 pitch, fouled off. Will, we had given the stat earlier in this game that there are 7 different batters in this Davidson lineup that have a 400 or higher on-base percentage with at least 30 at-bats. That's pretty impressive. Part of what's translated to that, at least today, is they work great at-bats. They foul off a lot of pitches. They really make you work.
And even the guys that aren't getting on base over 40% of the time still have respectable marks in that category. And all of them, 1 through 9. They really, really make you work to throw a strike, get that ball in play, and sometimes they do damage when they get that ball in the zone.
Slider in. Doesn't get the call, 1 and 2. And actually today, with updated stats, it's now 8 hitters with at least 30 at-bats because Terezzo got the at-bat numbers up. And I don't know if you've clocked this. Terezzo's stats are unreal. Came back from injury. He's been great. On-base percentage over 60%.
Yep, hitting over 440.
1-2 pitch, hammered down the right field line. A fair ball, 1 run scores. Big turnaround second and third. Cannon will score standing. 2 RBI single for Michael O'Shaughnessy. This game has been broken wide open, a 9-1 Davidson lead here in the 8th.
Michael O'Shaughnessy. That's why he is the team leader in RBIs. Just got his 37th and 38th RBI of the season. Keeps his hands inside the ball and ropes it down the right field line on a frozen rope. 2 RBI single, and Davidson putting up a 3 spot as head coach Kevin Layton will take out his sophomore right-hander in Cohen Smith. He'll turn to his senior, Connor Haywood.
And that is a disappointing ending to the day for Cohen Smith. Came in the 7th, and after a leadoff single, 3 straight strikeouts to close out the scoreless frame, but comes out for the 8th inning and doesn't get a single out. So final tally for Cohen Smith, 1 inning, 3 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 2 walks, the 3 strikeouts in the 7th. And O'Shaughnessy at first base will be his responsibility. The senior Connor Haywood enters in relief in what has now become an 8-run lead for the Davidson Wildcats. The reality seems to be that Fordham will get swept here this weekend. For Connor Haywood, will be his 12th appearance of the season. A 12.83 ERA and 13 1/3 innings pitched for a senior captain that, I think back to our freshman year, came in as one of the more exciting recruits on the Fordham side. Injuries have marked his Fordham career, but has bounced back and been a reliable reliever the last few seasons.
And I don't want to jinx it too soon with some ball game left, but just the way that this Fordham offense has been playing today, it seems like this kind of deficit that Davidson's put Fordham in seems a little too large for how the bats have been swinging it over Friday and Saturday. And statistically, Davidson came in with not a great pitching staff in terms of team ERA, and they definitely have shown the opposite of that in these last 3 games against the Rams. digging a little bit deeper into the Newtown, Connecticut native Connor Haywood. In his senior season, Haywood, a 12.83 ERA, making his 12th appearance. He's thrown 13 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 19 earned runs on 19 hits, 9 walks, and 7 strikeouts with a batting average against of .339.
Haywood's first batter will be number 2, Anthony Tarasso. We were just talking about him, the gaudy numbers he has as he's returned from injury and come right back into the heart of this Davidson lineup. Runner on first, still no one out, and a first pitch ball from Haywood.
Haywood, he'll mix in 3 to 4 different pitches. Combination of a slider / a curveball and a changeup to go along with that 4-seam fastball sitting in typically the upper 80s.
Misses inside, 2-0. You were mentioning the Davidson pitching staff entered today an 8.99 ERA. That is second to last in the A-10. Only one worse would be St. Bonaventure at 9.69. You look at the way the series has gone. 5 runs in Game 1 for Fordham, 6 runs in Game 2. And as it stands right now, only 1 run today, and it's an unearned run.
Exactly.
Hard grounder to third. Bucciero gets 1. Kirk on to first, not in time. Fielder's choice, Fordham able to get the lead runner for the first out.
Lead runner is key there. Bucciero did a nice job to corral it and get it over to Kirk in time to get O'Shaughnessy booking it in between first and second. But still a little bit slower on those turns. Haven't seen Fordham turn a traditional double play in this game.
That's a ball that probably should be a double play.
I agree.
You know, there are a few others in this game that hit a little softly, going to be a tough turn. A well-struck ball to third base gets to Bucciero quickly. Strong throw on to second. Felt like Kirk was a little slow with the transfer there, and then there's not a lot on that throw either.
And Kirk did catch it below the belly button, and the rule usually with that, below the belly button, you go fingers down, above, fingers up. A little bit tougher when it's down below your belly button to bring it back up into the throwing position to make it a quick turn.
Catrone skies one deep right center field. Sailor racing back. That one's gone. 2-run shot. And Davidson having a lot of fun. An 11-1 lead here in the 8th.
Jack Catrone, inside out's a fastball from Connor Haywood, and that wind shifted a little bit. It was blowing from right to left before, now a little bit more in the face. Catrone muscles it out there, though, to right center field. Gotta love the opposite field power. Jack Catrone now with his 7th home run in RBIs, 25 and 26 on the season, and now, Lou, this lead is a lot more sizable for the Wildcats.
It is now a 10-run lead for Davidson, and if you're head coach Rucker Taylor, don't you love to see Catrone swinging the bat the way he is? Schuhart swings and misses at the first pitch from Hayward. Off speed, misses high, so that a 4th run will go against the ledger for Cohen Smith, and that's 1 run on the ledger for Haywood.
It's the 4th home run that Haywood has surrendered in this season so far as well.
Little nubber Bucciero charges as he cuts off Brennan at shortstop, and it skips under his glove. And this has been a sloppy game for Fordham, and that ball trickled under Bucciero's glove, and he never stopped running, just looked a little frustrated there with the way this game has gone.
That's just kind of the story of this game. We kind of saw that convergence between McAndrews and Bucciero earlier on in the game when a play wasn't made, and a little bit of a similar story. We could hear the communication between McAndrews and Bucciero earlier on because it was right in front of us, but between Brennan and Bucciero is an in-betweener. Nevertheless, another base runner now with just 1 away.
First pitch into the catcher, Willem Brooks, a fastball that misses away. Back to talking about Catrone, who hit the 2-run homer. He had a magnificent sophomore season. Stepped into a starter role, 1.OPS, 13 homers, 42 RBIs, 6th in the A-10 in slugging and OPS, and then comes into his junior season last year and really struggled. Batting average drops off a cliff, OPS dropped off a cliff, and then he gets hurt and he doesn't play in April or May. Comes back this year, and you're seeing the Jack Catrone who was dominating the A-10 as a sophomore.
And just see it in this game alone. He's reached base all 5 trips to the plate that he's had. He's 3 for 3 with a few RBIs, 3 runs scored. He got hit by a pitch, and he walked as well. A lot of action in the middle of the lineup there for Jack Catrone. He's also been very busy in the field, too, today. A lot of putouts at shortstop for Catrone.
Brooks fouls it off third base side, a 2-2 count for the Davidson catcher. Schuhart to lead at first base.
For those keeping track at home, that was scored an E6 on Jack Brennan to allow Schuhart to reach first.
Really?
That's what Scott said, so.
Fastball misses up and in over the head of Will Brooks, and Schuhart will advance to second base. So Schuhart to second on the wild pitch, a full count to Will Brooks, righty on righty matchup. Fouled away, right field side to stay alive. Davidson scored 4 runs in the second, 2 runs in the third. Held scoreless from the 4th to the 7th. Full count pitch. Swung and a miss, strike 3. There's the second out of the inning. Even with that, a 5 spot here in the 8th inning. A runner on second base, so a chance to add a little bit more as the 9-hole hitter J.D. Woodall steps up. And this is the cushion that Davidson was looking for after that strong start.
6 early runs in the second and third innings, and just about replicated that performance from those early on innings. His 8th inning has been pretty monstrous for the Wildcats, but a much-needed strikeout on the Fordham side of things for Connor Haywood as they look to get this third out, just get back into the dugout.
First pitch, fastball strike. Woodall retired via strikeout each of his last 2 at-bats. Schuhart a big lead off at second base. Tapper to third base. Bucciero fields in foul territory. And an 0-2 count going up against the 9-hole hitter for Davidson.
And J.D. Woodall single back in the first inning. He scored and has been hitless since. Strikeout victim twice. Back-to-back at-bats in the 5th and in the 7th inning.
Hasn't had a huge impact offensively in this game, but you think back to a phenomenal catch that he made in the 5th inning, robbing Andrew Canales of a home run. Back at a time where Fordham really could have used the momentum to maybe change the course of this game. 2 outs, 0-2 count from Haywood. In on the hands, jam shot. Bucciero charged, a double clutch and an infield single for J.D. Woodall. Call that an infield single.
Definitely an infield single. It looked like Bucciero was a little concerned that ball was going to pop out prematurely out of the glove. He kind of snow-coned it, bringing it to his throwing hand.
The rain's certainly coming down here. That's going to make the fielding a little trickier. Schuhart advances to third. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Davidson has hit around in the inning. Jamie Daly, his second at-bat here in the 8th. Takes a first pitch strike of the knees. For Daly, 2 walks and 3 strikeouts as he gets his 6th plate appearance of the day. It's been a busy series for the Davidson offense. 38 runs across 3 games with a chance to add even more. Swing and a miss, off speed.
That was Haywood's best pitch of his outing so far. That was a very well-executed changeup on the outside corner, and Daly just whiffs right through it. Changing up the eye level, changing up the balance as well. Haywood really, really needed that.
Grounder to second. Kirk has trouble with the flip, and everyone's going to be safe. Schuhart scores on the error by Taylor Kirk. That was a routine ground ball, and Taylor Kirk could just not get it out of his glove. He's going to examine his glove here as Davidson takes a 12-1 lead.
Well, it was the weather. That's the only examination you can have, personally. That ball doesn't slip out on a normal day like this, but those are just the conditions you're dealing with on both sides for the Wildcats and for the Rams. But it definitely puts a dent, even more so of a dent, in this inning for Fordham.
If you're Connor Haywood, you certainly didn't want to face Eli Putnam with a pair of runners on. In this inning, the way that it's gone, it's now 6 runs that have scored for Davidson in the 8th inning. Strong fly ball, deep right field. Canales back on the track, makes the catch right in front of the wall. So awfully close. But the inning is finally over for the Fordham Rams, not before 6 runs come to score. Jack Catrone's 2-run home run highlights it all. A 12-1 Wildcats lead. The Fordham Rams only 2 more chances to bat.
Hi, this is Michael K., WFUV class of 1982. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Ben Oppenheimer reminding you to tune in to New York's longest running sports call-in show, One-on-One. Catch One-on-One live on the WFUV Sports YouTube channel every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then later on 90.7 FM from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We'll catch you next Saturday on One-on-One.
Bottom of the 8th at Houlihan Park in the Bronx. And this one, it's gone lopsided. 12-1 lead for Davidson after a 6-run 8th inning. 7-8-9 due up for the Fordham Rams. McAndrews swinging first pitch. High fly ball center field. Called off by Cannon in right center field for out number 1.
And I would say, Lou, but I guess I can't really because it's an 11-run game. You at least want to see one at the plate.
It would be nice.
You know, make Hall throw some pitches here. I mean, he has completely dominated in his 2 innings of work here. 1-2-3 inning last inning. Gets 1 pitch, 1 out here. I guess despite what the score is, you want to see one like Kean Saylor just did right there.
This is Tommy Markey pinch hitting
my bad.
for
It's
Reed
Tommy
Lapicus.
Markey.
All good.
Same bat, left-handed hitter.
Freshman outfielder will get in that bat here in the blowout. Wave and a miss at the split finger fastball behind 0-2.
Well, since that, it's Tommy Markey. Very exciting freshman for
Absolutely.
the Rams so far this season.
Takes a fastball away.
It's been a nice spark in the bottom of the lineup, whether he starts or he pinch hits like he's doing right now. His very good ability of getting on base, creating a lot of havoc on the base paths. Also plays a very solid center field.
Fastball on the turf. A 2-2 count for Tommy Markey. 32nd game of the season. 18 games started on the year, hitting .299 with ample at-bats, ample plate appearances. Good speed, good contact bat that's been proven to be able to work a good at-bat. Rolls one over to second. Putnam, easy throw over to first for out number 2. I think that is the thing. It's tough to talk about positives in a game like this, so this is more of a long season-arching thing. Fordham has a lot of really talented youth that should keep this program going. And
Absolutely.
it's a program that hasn't reached the A10 tournament since their 2019 title win. Last year was a disaster of a collapse, losing 8 straight to fall below the cut line. And you have young talent, whether it's the sophomores like Akko and Dieguez, and freshmen like Taylor Kirk, who's become your leadoff hitter, like Tommy Markey, that really make you excited for what this lineup's going to look like 2-3 seasons from now.
You should be. If you're a Fordham baseball fan, you should definitely be very excited for the youngsters that have been recruited and have played very well.
Another freshman pinch hitting here, the infielder Anthony Grabau. Another player who's hit fairly well in his freshman season, 27 games, hitting .245 in 53 at-bats.
Long Beach, California, long ways away.
Line drive, right field, ranging in, the sliding grab by Cannon for the third out. Well, it is 8 straight Rams retired. And that is a win for Davidson via the run rule. Davidson a 12-1 lead. Fordham couldn't add on to anything here in the bottom of the 8th, so this one cut short by an inning. Final score, Davidson 12, Fordham 1. Davidson 12 runs on 15 hits, 1 error. Fordham held to just 1 run. It was unearned. 6 hits and an error themselves. Will, this was an ugly game, and not just because of the weather. It was an ugly game because of the way that Fordham played both pitching and offense.
Yeah, all the way around, just a very bad loss for the Fordham Rams in what was a must-win game as they get swept here by their A10 rival in the Davidson Wildcats. Now Davidson 2 games ahead of Fordham, who is now 7-5 in conference play. Davidson now 9-3 and firmly atop the A10 standings. But back to what you were saying, though, Lou, just overall couldn't get anything done. Isaac Fix was fantastic for the Wildcats. Nothing more that you could have asked for if you are the Davidson coaching staff. Did everything in his power to keep the heavily right-handed lineup of the Fordham Rams off balance for the entirety of the game. And then you got to give a lot of credit to Ed Hall as well. Coming in, pitches 3 very, very solid innings in relief. And that was another thing, too, throughout this whole series. Davidson relied on their starters and only needed 1 or 2 relief pitchers each game to shut the door and keep the bats at bay on the Fordham side. But for Fordham, they got to regroup. They play Columbia, Battle of the Bronx coming up for their midweek matchup as they creep into the midway point of conference play.
For Fordham, it feels like a missed chance to take advantage of momentum. You go to Richmond at the time, the A10's best team at 21-4, the A10's best pitching staff. You put up 49 runs, you sweep them for the first time since 2009, and you leap atop the A10 standings. That felt like that could have set the tone for the remainder of the season. You turn right around and you get swept at your place by Davidson. It's not a disrespect to Davidson. They're an excellent team. I think you're going to see them be a problem come A10 tournament time because of that offense. But if Fordham wants to be a top team in the A10, you can't get swept. And so that feels like a missed opportunity here. The offense falls silent, and the pitching gets demolished against one of the A10's best offenses.
And you come in against one of the A10's weaker pitching staffs, you would hope that you scratch across a lot more runs than you did. And today, a very weak showing of just 1 run. Couldn't salvage any games in this series. But Davidson's offense this entire series has shown why they are an extreme threat once again in this A10 tournament as they sit atop the A10 standings.
Well, for Davidson, every single batter reaches base in this game. 7 record hits, 7 record RBIs, 4 record 2 or more RBIs. Jack Catrone a 2-run home run, so a dominant outing by the Davidson offense. A strong outing from Isaac Fix, 5 innings strong, no earned runs. For Fordham offensively, held to just 6 hits, the lone RBI coming from Taylor Kirk, and A tough day for the Fordham pitching staff, so we wrap things up here from Houlihan Park. Fordham closes out a 5-game homestand this Wednesday against Columbia. For Will Tallant, I'm Lou Orlando. Once again, your final score, Davidson 12, Fordham 1, as the Rams get swept and lose their first A-10 series of the season. So Davidson improves to 14-16, 9-3 in conference. They keep their lead atop the A-10. Fordham 15-17, 7-5 in conference. They fall 2 games behind Davidson for the A-10 lead. We'll wrap things up and want to plug some big things happening in the FUV sports world. Check out our podcast, check out our weekly show, One-on-One. And we'd like to thank you for tuning in to this radio broadcast of Fordham baseball on WFUV Sports YouTube. Once again, for Will Tallant, I'm Lou Orlando. Have a good rest of your weekend. Take care, everyone. Fordham baseball is a production of WFUV Sports.